Communications Commission has determined the following content to be emotionally harmful.
Funny things that you think's funny aren't funny.
Give me cocks all the time. I want cocks all over me.
The Alan Cox Show kicks ass, man.
Welcome.
Show me what you got.
You're not going to see a lot of cocks on TV.
Alan Cox from the Alan Cox Show.
I don't know what it's about you, but I can't even stand your voice. I think you're the biggest asshole alive.
It's going to be a great show.
Let's kick it. I'll say kick it, and you'll just kick it with a tasty groove, okay? 1, 2, 3, kick it. Kick it. Come on. God damn it. Took you one time. Kick it. What the?
Alan Cox.
Here we go. He'll ad-lib. He'll be fine.
It's the Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS.
What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. Hi there. Hello. Welcome, welcome. My name is Alan Cox. You heard it there, but I'll say it again because it's my name and I can wear it out. Say hi to Bill Squire. He's right over there.
Hey, creepy hugs, everybody.
Mary Santora is out. He's in Las Vegas for the first time. I guess I didn't realize that. She sent a picture, I guess, when she landed yesterday of all of the slot machines at the airport. As soon as you get off, as soon as you step foot in Vegas, they don't ever want you to stop gambling. And that's potentially a very bad place for Mary to be. So it's really going to test her mental fortitude, much more than, say, a guy foregoing masturbation. In the conversation yesterday, be a test of her mental fortitude. Speaking of which, Poundcake's back in Studio G.
Afternoon, white people. Happy Friday.
It is a Friday. If you want to talk about mental fortitude, look no closer than Cleveland's best sports talker, according to Cleveland Scene magazine. If you'd like to join us, we'd love to have you. 216-578-1007, 800-348-1007. Those are the phone numbers to call. You can send a text. I'll always see those. 35192. If you listen on iHeartRadio, from all around North America, we drop messages there too. I thought there was going to be another fight. I got my phone ready this morning, and I had it on video because it looked like another fight was going to break out right outside the studio window here on Euclid this morning. And I was like, oh! I watched for a second, and it looked like it was escalating, and so I grabbed my phone, threw it on video, and then they kind of walked out of frame. So I left the studio and walked, because the whole front here at 668 Euclid is all windows. And so if you see anything like that in the front sidewalk, you can walk out and follow it. It was a woman carrying an overflowing grocery basket. You know, like the kind that you'd find anywhere. You walk into a grocery store, and if you don't need enough things to fill a cart, you take a little basket. I think some stores got rid of those after COVID. They got rid of them during COVID and then just never brought them back. So there's a lot of grocery stores now you have to use a cart. Like Target still has them. I think Heineken still has them. And so it's this woman and this guy. He's much older than her. And they both look disheveled, but she's considerably younger than he is. So at first I thought maybe she was just doing something and he was interrupting her. But it becomes very clear that they know each other. And so they both stop. She gives him a push on the shoulder, and he's kind of taken aback. I'm like, here we go. And so I thought something was going to happen. And other than the two of them stopping intermittently on their walk and screaming in each other's faces, that doesn't really rise to the level of, that's not really a fight. That's just a verbal altercation. You know, when we first moved in here, a couple of months in, and I got the video of little Herb getting thrown to the ground outside. I can't go backwards from that. A verbal altercation doesn't rise to the level of a fight that you would film. But, listen, do I want people out here getting into fights? No. Does my phone want people out here getting into fights? Yes.
It always seems to happen.
Always.
Like right in front of this building, too. Because where was I going? I was picking up something. I think I was either
going to Heinen's or I was going to the CVS, and this was after work. And there was two guys riding on a bike, and they were going fast. The bikers downtown are vicious. So these two guys on their bikes, and there was a guy walking across the street. One of the guys just hit the guy that was walking and hit him hard. And he's like,
a guy on a bicycle?
A guy on a bicycle hit a guy that was walking across the street and was like, "Oops, sorry, man." And the biker didn't even miss a beat. He didn't fall. He didn't, hit his brakes or anything. Just hit him. And then I just heard all these expletives "Yeah, your wife's fat, go home and bang her," all this stuff. I was like, oh my God.
That's all he had was your wife's fat?
There was other stuff too.
Oh, okay.
Kind of
that was all you could, that's the only thing you can repeat.
Yeah. It was pretty bad. I was like, oh my gosh. And dude, I guess wasn't hurt. He just got up and walked away. I was like, damn, hit someone on a bicycle and you didn't even fall. You didn't even break. Didn't even miss a beat. And just kept on rolling. Oh, sorry, got a schedule to keep.
Yeah, you keep on going. That's why you're on a bicycle. You got places to be.
He was with a friend. They were riding side by side. So I don't, dude. Cyclists are brave because I don't even trust myself walking across the street and a car coming. These people are in the street going side by side with a car, and you just got to trust that you're not going to get sideswiped by a mirror or you're going to
somewhere along the line, the cycling community started to think that they don't need to be aware of their surroundings, that everyone else should defer to them, and that's in no way. Just because there are bike lanes doesn't mean that other people are paying attention to just you on your bike. You think you'd be paying more attention. But the cycling community has been accommodated to such a degree where they're expecting everyone else to look out for them. And that's just not what people are doing. People are barely paying attention to what they're doing, let alone other people. So that's how you end up with, listen, sometimes, as in that story Mary told about the guy on the bike that got hit with the van, sometimes it can make you a little bit of cash. But you can't count on that.
No, this dude just got trussed up and down by a guy that he hit. His wife's fat. He's going to have to go home and bang her and blah, blah, blah. Your son is a MFer, all this stuff.
Wow.
He went off.
Wasn't screwing around. You have to wonder if people's random street insults have ever spurred someone to take a look at their life. They're walking away, and it's just a random insult that somebody throws out at you, but it happens to hit the bullseye, and you go home, and you're like, oh, my God, what have I...
there was a guy, I don't know if this was a meme. I forget what it was, but I saw it on Facebook, and the guy was like, I'm waiting in line at a stoplight, and this homeless guy's going up to each and every car and asking for money. He skipped my car because I had a crash.
Yeah, right.
Your car's so right. You're like, oh, he ain't got no money.
You need it just as much as I do.
I got an out headlight, so he just skipped my car. He's like, I almost hit the dude.
Right. It reminds me of Mulaney's bit about how teenagers, like middle school kids, are the meanest kids. And they will make fun of you, but in an accurate way. It's like, that dude has feminine hips. He's like, the thing I'm most insecure about.
Yes. Kids are nothing if not unfailingly either candid to a fault. And they will get you right between the ribs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember
I'll do it.
There was a teacher. He was a substitute teacher, and he was tall. So they would roast him. He was like, how's the weather up there? And the guy was just like, I'm just here to collect my paycheck. And the guy was like, the kid was like, oh, I struck a nerve. You did not get a hug from your dad. And the dude got really visibly upset, turned red. He wanted to say something.
I guess so.
Well,
I mean, if you're tall.
Yeah, but it's also one of those things where you're just sick of hearing it at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't be a substitute teacher and expect kids to.
Yeah, you can.
To behave? No.
No, you can't be a substitute teacher. I mean, you can be a substitute teacher and expect that they're not gonna, but you can expect it.
But I'm saying if I was a substitute teacher, I already know what I'm in for. They're gonna make fun of my voice, they're gonna make fun of my chest, they're gonna are you gay? Kids, it was awful when I was in school. Now I have to go back.
I was gonna say, how would the kids now know? And supposedly they didn't know when you were a kid.
They did know.
Oh.
I did. I mean, they assumed, but honestly, when I came out, I didn't even get bullied anymore. They were like, we got it all out of our system. Like, there's nothing to make fun of you for anymore because you embrace it. So that was essentially it.
They were like, Cody, luckily for you, we pre-verbally assaulted you, so now you're fine.
They're like,
we pre-mocked you.
Before, when we call you a fag, it was just because, we didn't like you. Now
we can't call you that anymore.
Now it's hate crime. We can't do that.
You should have come out a lot earlier. Ironically, you could have saved yourself a lot of insults had you come out earlier. If only you'd known, but there's no way to know. I got to take a break here. If you want to send a text, 35192. Listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
This is the Alan Cox Show. Everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app or whatever smart device you have. Just tell it to play the Alan Cox Show on iHeartRadio. Nissan has a car for every driver who wants
Free music.
Free live radio stations from all over the country.
Free podcasts.
Free playlists.
Free contests.
Free artist radio stations.
Commercial-free stations.
It's free. I love iHeartRadio. Join the millions of music, radio, and podcast fans on the #1 streaming radio app now.
iHeartRadio.
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 Free never sounded so good.
Alan Cox. His parents think he's a proctologist.
He has a real job.
Because the truth is just too disgusting. 100.7 WMMS.
He said there's going to be a lot of celebratory pot and pan banging at Casa Cox on the news that they arrested a guy for the Tupac murder, but I'm a little unclear as to what's going on because this is a guy who's been on the radar for quite some time. The guy wrote a book. They had a documentary a few years ago about the Tupac murder.
This is how it happened.
Yeah, If I Did It is the name of his book. No, a guy who was a former Crip chief or something, a guy named Keith D. He's a 60-year-old man by now. And LAPD have scooped him up. I always kind of took them half at their word when they said that the Tupac murder investigation was still very much an open case. I mean, Tupac got killed almost 30 years ago.
They weren't looking for him.
Well, when they talked to the guys who were on that case, I mean, I don't think that they're knocking on doors actively every single day, but they've made it pretty clear that it was not they don't consider it a cold case. Dwayne Keith D. Davis has been arrested in connection with the murder of Tupac Shakur. They raided his wife's home. That's not a good sign, I guess, if your wife has a separate home, looking for evidence that they were following. But he admitted being in the car that shot at, it was Tupac and Biggie in the other car, right? I know Puffy's always tried to insert himself into that situation. I don't know if he was in the car.
He was in a separate car.
Separate car. There you go.
I think they were at a traffic light. This is what I remember from the movie. They were at a traffic light, and then Puff went to go, he was in the other SUV, and his SUV was moving forward. And then right as the other SUV that Big was in, another car pulled up and shot him.
There you go. Puffy loves telling the Tupac story, boy. He loves. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know. Taken into custody by Las Vegas detectives. And this guy has, he hasn't been silent about it. He's talked about it a lot. So I don't know what new information they have that would have gotten them to go scoop him up. But he's a guy, for people that
they
remains
subscribed and shared their way to a conviction.
They what?
Subscribed and shared because he's talking about it on podcasts all the time and stuff. Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, who knows? But they scooped this guy up, and he said that he told authorities about his involvement during a meeting at the time or some years ago. His tell-all memoir is called Compton Street Legend. And let's be frank, the only reason a guy like this would write a book and expect that people would buy it is because of the Tupac connection. Who the hell knows who Keith D is? I mean, outside of L.A., Crips, that's barely a thing anymore, I don't think. These guys have all aged out, replaced by other more violent gangs. But he talked to the cops about 15 years ago because they were going to send him to prison on drug charges. And so they probably poked him a little bit and asked him some questions and told him, what do you want to tell him? But anyway, they've scooped him up and said that this is the guy we're looking at. They like him for the murder of Tupac Shakur. So that would, if in fact that were the case, that would close the book on this whole thing.
Joe Biden's going to take credit for this one. I told all my blacks, I told you I'd deliver.
Uh-huh.
And now we got one half of the greatest murder. I mean, the biggest murder of all time.
That's a great Joe Biden.
LLJ Cool J.
LLJ Cool J was part of the whole thing. People underestimate how great Poundcake's Joe Biden is.
They do.
Mm-hmm. Don't they?
I mean, this is the first time I've heard it.
Oh, he does it all the time. I'll call him late at night and go, "Do Joe," and he always accommodates. So I appreciate that.
I appreciate that, Alan. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Have you ever heard
Alan.
Joe Biden speak before? Sounds like you're doing Obama.
You're making him sound too lively, for one thing.
LLJ Cool J.
Yeah.
There's a funny comedian in town, Noah Ryan, and he's a great impressionist, and he does a very good Joe Biden. Not as good as Cody's,
Is it
obviously.
impressionist or impersonator?
Impressionist.
What's the difference?
I don't know. He does voices.
Impersonator dresses like them and an impressionist sounds like them? Is that the distinction?
But he does a lot of Joe Biden.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Cody, what's the distinction there?
I think impersonator would probably be you look and sound like them.
I see.
Impressionist, I think, is just maybe voices like what who's the guy we had in here from SNL? They used to do it. Jay Farrow. Jay Farrow.
Alan, you're screwing it all up. Suge was with Tupac. Puff was with Biggie. Okay. Suge Knight was in the car with Tupac.
Correct.
Well, there you go. Thank you for the people. Devotion accuracy again. It was a long time ago.
But I thought Tupac got shot in Las Vegas, didn't he? Outside, like inside one of the big casinos there, because there was like video footage of it.
Yeah, but they had like multiple jurisdictions on this too, because there were some of the people that were following people in L.A., they were following people in Vegas. It was a whole thing.
Just like
Mary went to Vegas for the first time, and then they cracked this case the first day she's there. So like connection, absolutely.
I mean, she should definitely go to the Mob Museum if she's into that stuff. She's right there.
To the what?
The Mob Museum.
Mob Museum.
Because it's right there on Fremont Street. Like, I stayed, we were at the Four Queens, which is right next to the Golden.
Yeah, you were. Oh.
Yeah, so, and then the Mob Museum was just a little walk down the road. And that was interesting. And it's funny how we got, like, Cleveland was in the museum there. It showed a lot of history on, like, that backstory of Little Italy and stuff.
Yeah, Mob was here, too, for a while. So what am I missing with this Roman Empire meme?
I don't know. It just popped up last week, and it was girls asking their boyfriends how often they think about the Roman Empire, and guys.
So somebody just started that, and it took off from there. The algorithm did its work, and
I guess,
yeah,
because it's not anything I ever think about. But then I saw another thing that people were trying to tie it to alt-right dudes, and like they're obsessed with the Roman Empire, and I'm like, I don't know about all this.
Okay,
but it seemed like it went away just as fast as it flared up.
Yeah, it just is getting a lot of references and people memeing about it, and I'm like, you know me, I don't like to be left out of anything. And so, but I was curious. I do like to know where people are coming from.
I want to know why the Kevin James memes started showing up all of a sudden.
Well, yeah,
I love them.
Yeah.
I think they're very funny, but I just like why all of a sudden?
I think because it was the anniversary of King of Queens premiering.
Oh, okay.
And so it was like not 30 years ago.
Like 25
years ago.
Okay.
Last week, I think, the King of Queens premiered. And so there was a picture of Leah Remini and Kevin James and Jerry Stiller, who had just come off of Seinfeld.
But then there's that promotional one where he's got his hands in the pocket shrugging, and that one took off.
Like in the Who Me kind of, that classic sitcom-y comedian thing. And then Kevin James
even leaned into it.
And he's like, hey, I'm going out on the road again. I'm so happy I found this old headshot. And it's him in the kitchen for King of Queens. But it's, again, that has run its course too. But people they like to get blood from a stone, boy. They will hang on to something until the next thing comes along, and then it's all over. I mean, I've spent the entire morning memeing Dianne Feinstein pictures. And I don't mind telling you, to little or no effect. The algo is just not scooping it up, no matter how many mustaches and sailor hats I put on her. What do I have to do? So that Tupac thing is still continuing. I heard from one of our Florida bureau chiefs, they sent me the story about a guy who has been bitten by a rabid otter 41 times. You know, otters can be so cute. We all see photos of them lying on their backs in the water, holding hands. And I don't know anything about otters. I know they're carnivorous. I know they're mammals. That is all I know about otters. I didn't realize they were fast. I didn't realize that they could run up on you if you weren't paying attention. This guy saw them coming. There's a guy in Florida who's feeding ducks. When you hear this guy talk, he doesn't sound like a native. He sounds like a guy who might be in the witness relocation program. And this is not a great way to have his face plastered everywhere. Joseph Scaglione was out there feeding the ducks.
What a great name.
I know. Hey, I'm Joe Scaglione.
I'm Scaglione.
Hey, yo! He saw all the birds fly away, and he's like, "The hell's going on?" He didn't see a hawk, and so he goes to close his gate, and an otter comes at him, and he said that the mauling lasted several minutes. They had to yell for neighbors to come and help. He's a 74-year-old man, and he got 41 bites on his legs and his arms and his hands. Ooh. They got him to the hospital. They euthanized. See, here's the thing with rabies is like one of the only diseases with pretty much a 100% fatality rate. You know, a lot of people died from COVID, and yes, but the fatality rate of COVID was still single digits. Rabies, if you don't get it taken care of toot sweet, you're dead.
Yeah, what do you have, like 72 hours?
You got something like that, yes. It's a very short period of time if you don't have rabies taken care of. Because once the symptoms start, you're out of luck. It's fatal. No way around it. So it's easily like top 3 world's most deadly diseases. So this guy gets bitten a whole bunch of times. Fingers, legs, whatever else. And here's Joe Scaglione.
I normally go out and feed ducks in the back. Ducks, geese, ibis. Looked up, no hawk. Looked back down, and there was a...
What do you say? Ibis? What? Ducks, geese, ibis? Or what do you say?
I don't know. It's
geese, ibis. Looked up, no hawk. Looked back down, and there was a brown head sticking up over the bank of the pond. At first, they didn't know it was a brown head
sticking up over the...
This guy is not
a hawk, Tony.
This guy is not a native Floridian.
And I realized that's an otter. My pinky is the worst. 2 puncture wounds. I'm not sure if it goes right through or whatever. One is on the corner of where the cuticle was.
Hey, this thing, let's just say it was not doing what it oughta. All
Get
right.
out of here.
Get out of here. I told him. I said, hey, you F with Joe Scaglione. You're effing with the best. So, Joey Skaggs.
Just trying to get my little taste, and then all of a sudden there's an otter.
Yo, I can't even make a pair of gloves out of you. By the way, happy 66th birthday today to one Andrew Clay Silverstein. Still to this day, one of our very favorites, Andrew Dice Clay, 66. It's depressing. I'll tell you what's depressing. Did you watch The Golden Bachelor?
No.
I thought I was really going to enjoy this show.
Was it lame?
Not lame. It's depressing. I'm just sitting there.
Okay, that's what I was kind of leaning to, because everyone's got a dead significant other.
Well, not that. It's just, listen, I'm 52 years old, right? Mm-hmm. My wife's 10 years younger than me. I'm watching, I go, okay, this guy's a good-looking dude. The Bachelor, he's 71. The women are age appropriate. The youngest one is 60. And they're rolling him out, and we're kind of, going, oh, that's potentially a crazy one right there. And they're fine, but at the end of the first episode where they do a montage of everything that's going to come in the season, so they do little clips of the individual dates, and they're in a hot air balloon, and there's a lot of making out. And even a couple of the women in the premiere who wanted to get FaceTime with the guy. A lot of things remain the same, whether these girls are 60 or 20. There's always a couple who break away from the pack to get some FaceTime with the guy. They don't want to be left behind. They want to get that first impression rose. They want to get a rose at the end of the thing, so they break from the pack, and the other women are left behind going, well, she's saucy, you know? These girls are nicer. They're not as petty or cutting as the younger women. Now, that may change as the season goes on. But, yes, it's a lot of people with dead husbands. A lot of people have been married a bunch of times. Gwen looks at me and goes, everyone's crying at the prospect of someone loving them again. And this one woman who goes and she's making out with the guy, and I'm like, maybe I'm more shallow than I thought. I go, I don't think I can handle an entire season of watching septuagenarians make out. I don't think I can do it. The one woman's crying after she kisses him. She goes, today's my 70th birthday. This is the greatest prize I could ever get. Gwen looks at me and goes, I just took my mom for her 70th to Grandpa's Cheese Barn.
That's a good 70th, too.
Yeah, I'm just like, could you imagine either of our mothers on this show? And listen,
I can imagine your mom on that show.
Shut up, Bill. God bless all these women. You know, I just don't know if I'm down for a whole season of, you know, and again, it's shallow. I get it. I haven't watched, in my defense, I don't normally watch the regular Bachelor. I haven't watched The Bachelor in a long time.
Yeah, you give it a shot. If it's not for you, who cares?
I mean, we'll watch it. I know.
Crappy reality show.
Yeah.
So, Alan, if somebody is on a Golden Bachelor and somebody get into a fight and get knocked out, will somebody be yelling, help, they fallen and they can't get up? Hate the show. Bye.
Right. See, yeah, I got it. No, I don't know. We watched. And everybody's very nice. You know, there is a lot of cosmetic surgery on the show. A couple of women who stood out. It's a diverse crowd. The guy, you know, but again, the montage giving you a taste of what's to come in the season. The guy's crying. He rips his microphone off and walks off camera at some point. I'm done. I can't handle this. You know, the backstory on this guy is he marries his high school sweetheart. They're married for 43 years. He retires. They buy the lake house they always wanted. 2 weeks later, she feels kind of sick. She goes to the hospital, and in a week, that's what I said. Look at Gwen. I go, can you imagine if they find out he killed her?
Wait, like, okay, they buy a lake house. He's not able to afford the payments. Then his wife gets sick. Insurance pays out. Everything's fine. I'm on to you, Bachelor.
So he takes her to the hospital. A week after they move into the house, she has some bacterial infection that shuts all of her organs down, and she never leaves the hospital. So the guy...
He knew that lake house was on a lake that had bad water in it. She probably went swimming in there and got that's why we don't go swimming in lakes.
And it's probably a real deep lake, too. Yeah. But... I go, why doesn't he just sell the house? And Gwen's like, that's what you took from that? I go, yeah, because they didn't, like, raise their children there. Because he was like, no, this house was her dream, and now I'm in it, and I look out at the lake, and she's not here. I'm like, sell the house. You bought it when you retired. You barely lived in it. Anyway.
I don't know if I can handle... I love my mom, and I want her to be happy, but I don't want to see her on reality TV getting jiggy with some dude.
Like, she get paid. You don't have to watch. Like she'll still get paid.
Like if she goes to like the honeymoon suite or whatever, I don't know if they have like a nightcap suite. I don't know if I can handle that.
Well, that's what I was saying. Ugh. I was like, you know, when the youngins go to the honeymoon suite, you know, it's not like they have a pinhole camera in the paintings or anything, but you hear, sometimes you'll see closed captioning of them whispering behind the door. I don't know that I still think that this is playing to...
They're not making macaroni back there.
The macaroni in a pot. I think that they're playing to the demographic, that age group, and also playing to the rest of us and our morbid curiosity. But, yeah, I don't know. I'll watch the first few because the guy is very personable and the ladies seem nice. But, I mean, I don't know. I just, old people making out. There's something about it. And it bums me out because I'm like, that's my future. I mean, you know, so I'm just lying.
Yeah, but you're not doing it on TV.
I know.
Like, making out on TV is a whole... Making out on TV is already uncomfortable. Like, I think I'd rather watch old people have sex than make out.
It's a lot of crepey lips and a lot of like, it's a lot of, again, and you can't blame them. Like, it's a lot of nervousness, and it's, and these women are all like, we're here to show that when you hit a certain age, it doesn't mean you're dead. They're all in great shape. I mean, obviously they're not going to get, middle America old people. They're going to get people who look like they came, there's like a girl that used to be a cheerleader for the Chicago Bears, and there's a woman who owns a salon, and there's a lady who
I used to cheer on Gail Sayers.
Oh boy, yeah. So I guess we'll stay with it for a little bit.
I remember Brian Piccolo before he got cancer. He was a great player.
I remember when Gail Sayers took me to his hometown of Wakarusa, Indiana, and he told me a story about a cow named Contented Linda Grace. Have you ever heard the story? Let me tell you. So a long time ago, that's how The Bachelor ends up being 3 hours long. She tells the Contented Linda Grace story. And the circle remains unbroken. I got to take a break. If you want to send a text, 35192, AlanCoxShow.com for everything else, and we'll be back.
The Alan Cox
To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
This is The Buzzard.
From the Barrio Tacos Tequila and Whiskey Studios.
The Buzzard.
The home of the Buzzard. This is 100.7 WMMS.
Cleveland.
Our phone operators are standing by with their thumbs up their asses waiting for you to call. So call.
Call the Alan Cox Show. 216-578-1007 or 1-800-348-1007.
I got 2 hours of nothing but metal lined up for you tomorrow night. Our metal show here on MMS is called 2 Hours to Midnight. I'm your host along with Corey Roddick and Pat Butler. And we're very excited to bring it to you. So if you're into metal, you get nothing but. Tomorrow night, brand new stuff from POD with Randy Bly from Lamb of God. We'll throw some 3 Inches of Blood out for you.
Ooh.
Local music from Air to None. Throw in some classics, King Diamond, Metallica, and whatever else you want to hear. 2htm@wmms.com is the email. If you're a local band, you can submit. If there's just something you want to hear, let me know. But tomorrow night, 10 o'clock, with me and Corey and Pat. It's a lot of fun. And then Sunday morning, it's the week in Cox. It is 2 hours of the best stuff from this week. Today's show, ending a little bit early. And I only mention this because that's going to bump up the Bill Squire Friday Get Down. We are going to be able to get people's weekend officially underway even earlier.
Good.
Because I guess we're going to Guardians pregame.
Oh, okay.
Usually we'll take you to first pitch, but we will get you to pregame around 6:05, which means the Bill Squire Friday Get Down, you're going to get that before 6 o'clock today.
I always like getting the weekend started early.
I see that as that as a public good.
Yeah.
And or service.
That's a win.
So
well, you got stuff going on tonight. You're going to
I'm going to see the Workaholics guys.
That's cool.
Over at the Masonic. They do a thing called This Is Important. And we're going to that. A little meet and greet after.
Nice.
Be a lot of fun. I like those guys. So that will be exciting. Stavros Halkias, if you're a fan of his, he's on the show next week, but I will have the last pair of tickets for you to see him next Saturday night. In about a half an hour, I'll have the last pair to get you to Bill Burr. Both of those guys doing shows next Saturday night. And tickets to see Bill film his new special at the Agora in December, along with Mary. How much time will Mary do on that show?
20.
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
You'll do an hour?
Yes.
45 to an hour?
Yes.
And how much time will Marty Malloy do?
10. That's his perfect wheelhouse.
10 minutes.
10 minutes is perfect amount of Marty.
All right.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So get your tickets. The orchestra seats are close to selling out. Like that's the lowest spot on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, everybody that's already bought tickets. That makes me feel very good.
Is the floor going to be seated?
Yes.
Okay.
So the floor seat, it's all seated. So the floor, and then there's 2 tiers, well, 3 tiers after that are seated, and then the mezzanine. So
I don't think I've ever been to an Agora show where the floor was seated. It's always a pit, the shows I go to. Now, Christopher Cross will probably be seated.
Probably.
On Wednesday night. I don't know
so
if
you've never been to a comedy show at the Agora?
I have not.
They're always seated.
Nope. Yeah, no, I have not. I don't think. I feel like there was a show years ago. Oh, maybe.
I've seen Craig Ferguson there, and then I've opened for Dimitri Martin and Mark Norman. I'm opening for Mark Norman again in early November.
I went to a show years ago.
And then done Chris McQuanzica a few years.
Maybe it was before the Agora got redone or something, but where did Polk do his show?
Polk did one show there probably 2015 or 16.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
We were up in like
where Tim Misny fought a bear.
I don't recall that, but it was, maybe it was the Agora, but it was before they redid it.
Yeah.
Because I just remember the venue being a lot more beat up.
Yeah.
So, but that had to have been the Agora. We were in a box and, but.
Yeah, that was the
old Agora.
Yeah, but they redid it, I think in 2018 is when they revealed all the renovations.
No, I just go to metal shows there, so there's never seats on the floor that I can
Yeah, well,
recall.
that makes sense.
Hey, Woody.
Alan.
What's going on?
Just driving home. You know, long day in the mine on a Friday. Happy weekend to you guys.
Yep, you too.
You're talking about workaholics, man. How many seasons did that show run? Because I don't know, but it was hilarious when I saw it.
I mean, it didn't run for a long time.
3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah, not a long time.
But it
7
was
seasons.
Oh, 7. Okay.
I didn't think it ran that many. 2011 to 2017, it ran 7 seasons. Yeah, it was a great show.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the 3 characters. I don't know their real names off the top of my head, but
Mo, Larry, and Curly.
That dynamic was just hilarious to me. Sitting on a roof drinking beer. What else do you do after work, right?
That's right. Telemericorp, Rancho Cucamonga.
Rancho Cucamonga.
Mm-hmm.
It's just down I-15, Port San Diego.
That's right. And what are you doing for the weekend? What are you going to be doing this weekend, Woody? I run into Woody on the street out here. He's like guzzling soup. What are the big plans for the weekend?
What was it, 3-4 weeks ago, we had that big giant wind shear tornado storm out here on the east side. And I lost a couple big limbs. And so I had to bring a tree service guy in to drop the trees, blah, blah, blah. So I got a yard and a driveway full of logs I got to haul around. I'm hauling logs.
The work never ends for Woody. If he's not on the roof, he's out there hauling logs.
Hauling logs.
And taking care of business.
Hauling logs again.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a Ren and Stimpy. It's log.
Right, it's log. Well, enjoy all that, Woody.
Hey, hopefully we'll get together and tip a cold one sometime, me and you and boys.
Right. We'll figure it out, okay?
Cold one with the boys.
Bye.
Yep. All right. Thank you. There's Woody, who's always nice to chat with. No, tomorrow I have to do some more landscaping stuff, but tomorrow we've got the big, I don't know what they call it, ice cream social or whatever at my daughter's school. So I got to go to that.
That's exciting.
It's a lot of standing in line while your kid does something, the bounce houses and getting their faces painted and crap like that. And there's, you can buy raffle tickets and stuff. And it's fine. It's okay.
And she'll have fun. And
she'll have a great time.
That's
she'll
what
is so much fun.
It's not about you having fun. It's about her having
it's
fun.
never, trust me, it's never about me having fun.
I'm going to see Mesmerica tomorrow at the Science Center.
Uh-huh. What is Mesmerica?
Mesmerica is an immersive experience where it's like some sort of sound.
Is this a traveling show or something that the Science Center does?
Well,
okay.
they're doing it in their IMAX Center.
Yeah.
And
in the dome?
In the dome. So you're all surrounded by lights and different cool visuals, and then they play this audio, this music that this guy like a symphony type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for that tomorrow. That should be a good time.
Okay. Now, why are you going to that? That sounds like something for kids.
Because it just looked cool. I just saw the ad. The Instagram ad caught me. I was like, I kind of want to go to this. So I'm going to take my friend and we're going to have some green stuff and then enjoy the experience.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm looking at a review of the show here on Google, and it sounds like that maybe that might help you. That might help your experience.
What does the review say?
Well, granted, it is a 1-star review. There are other ones way better than that. But I always enjoy reading 1-star reviews of anything because those to me are just funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's a glorified Windows 98 screensaver with a hippie narrating, telling everybody that they should be more happy in their life. Okay.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
I'm all about people telling me to be happy.
Yep.
I want to be happy. I think it'll be fun.
What's the downside of that?
Yeah. And you know what? I always love those screensavers. The tubes.
Right.
The tubes were entertainment.
Tubes are great.
The tubes, the aquarium, where to go to the fish. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Screensavers back in the day were pretty awesome.
That's right.
Tubes were real good.
Alan, I have front row seats for Bill's show. There you go. They're going to be staring right up your nostrils.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Appreciate you so much. Let's sell it all out.
Speaking of 3D pipes, 3D screens or whatever, I was reading about this kid that they arrested in the UK. He's a college student, and they discovered that he was 3D printing a drone for ISIS.
Uh-oh.
And again, you can 3D print a lot of things. I mean, there's literal instructions online to make things like that, but you can't, it's not as easy to do as just printing it up and then flying it around and blowing people up. I mean, you can't just scale up and down when it comes to like aerodynamics of drones and things. You can't just take something and go, well, I'll just make this bigger, because obviously if you're going to use it for nefarious purposes, it's going to have a payload on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be very, very difficult to make that work. But they had a picture of the thing in his, that they pulled out of his dorm room, and it just looks like it looks way too big to go not only unnoticed, but to be able to do what they want it to do. A PhD engineering student in the UK was building a bomb-capable drone for ISIS designed to mimic the Tomahawk missile, and he was building this in his bedroom. And I wonder if people who are perhaps terrorism sympathizers, if they become engineering students so that they can have the requisite skills, or if you're an engineering student and you go, let's see if I can build an ISIS drone. I don't know. My late father was a mechanical engineer. And so that was something that always, my brain didn't work that way. And so seeing him, whether he was working on things for the company he worked for, or whether he was teaching one of his courses, there was nothing in my brain that was able to decipher those kinds of things that came very, very easily to him. But this kid was printing stuff up with his 3D printer and trying to make a big old drone so that he could help ISIS with explosive or chemical weapons. And again, this stuff's online, right? There are literally schematics online. Like, Ukraine has them online for free. You can print up the drones that they're using against Russia. Now, you have to know what you're doing, obviously. I don't know why Russia just doesn't take them and go, hey, let's build, since they're getting their asses kicked, let's take some Ukrainian drones off of, Google Docs and see what we can do with them. The kid says, I was not supporting ISIS. I was just building the drone for my own research. He was researching them. That is a great answer. They can find all kinds of incriminating stuff on your account, on your computer, in the cloud, whatever. You go, no, I was doing research.
Just research.
What does everybody say? Do your own research. Think for yourself. Do your own research. And then what happens when you do your own research? Give you in trouble. He said he's fascinated by the Islamic State, but he wanted to study it so that he could argue against it. Well, what are you going to do? But, we're entering a new and unprecedented age of drones. There's a drone that was dropping all this porn into a prison. A guy,
What's up?
That's what I'm saying. It was a drug dealer in Australia who had a drone that had a USB drive full of porn on it and 75 grand worth of opioids. And he dropped it into a prison. They immediately confiscated the whole thing, but, that's what people are working on this stuff for.
And also, that's the one that they caught.
Yeah.
He's probably done it a bunch of times, and this is just the time that he got busted.
He was already on parole. And they put him back in prison. Trying to use a drone to deliver drugs. Because every prison's got those turrets. How do they not see a drone coming in? You're at that point, you're eye level with the drone. How are you not seeing the drone? It's amazing.
People are bad at their jobs.
I gotta say, we talk about these mega prisons they're building. They're building that massive one out in Garfield
Or if the
Heights.
drone's like super high up.
Right, but
from like a. Yeah, I don't know.
The billions of dollars going into prisons. How are things getting in and people getting out because they crab walk up the wall and then go over the razor wire?
Well,
how does that happen? You think
I've watched enough prison shows to know that I don't know about the crab walking and the escaping, but they allow some contraband to get in because it lowers like the anger of the inmates. Like it's. Oh, if they get a little something.
Get a little porn, get a little
if they get like a
heroin, then they seem to calm down a bit.
Because some of the men don't have money for commissary and like their family is not talking to them anymore. So when they get like an extra Kit Kat bar or they get like a nudie magazine.
Yeah, but I don't mean, listen, there's tons of corrections officers that are in on the whole thing, whatever, I get it. I'm not talking about inside politics. I'm talking about the money they spend on prisons. The people who build them and own them and run them, they don't want people getting out. They don't want things getting in. You'd think these places would be state of the art. They're like, oh, we lost a guy. How'd you lose him? Was he some mastermind? No, he hid in a laundry basket. Oh, cool.
But you only know your holes until someone tries.
Wait,
hold on. I think we just got a new saying.
What's the rest? You only know your holes until what?
I said you don't know your holes until someone tries them.
All right, I'll put that down.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
We haven't had a good edition in a long time.
Not
We've
for
broken our
me.
dry our dry spell here. Poundcake glossary.
But yeah, like doesn't
you don't know your holes until someone tries them? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Faults in the system.
Yeah.
Like didn't the government used to pay like hackers to try and hack their accounts?
White hat hackers, yeah.
So they knew.
Say, show us where our weaknesses are.
Hey, show us our holes.
Yep.
Get in there. Do your thing.
I guess, but I mean, those of us who are on the outside, the allegedly free people walking around, there's cameras everywhere.
Yes,
in every direction. How are people getting out of prisons?
But we don't think about it because we're not doing anything wrong. People who do stuff wrong are very aware of cameras. So we don't know the flaws in the camera. Like we don't even know if they're on. We don't know what angle they have.
But we have come to the point in a surveillance culture now because we're doing it to each other, let alone
this camera in here always gets me like messing with my nose.
That's what I'm saying. How are there cameras in prisons that are either not working or not?
Because they assume that it's like in the circus when you have these big animals on a single chain, they're just kind of brainwashed and they don't really try to get out. Not many people escape prisons. I mean, if a prison holds 8,000 inmates and one gets out, that's a pretty good, rate. That's a pretty good percentage.
Yeah, numerically, you're right. I'm just saying, I can't believe anybody gets out. I can't believe anybody escapes.
Yeah,
that's why I always
hard enough you can.
Well,
you starve yourself for 3 days by hiding in something that's going to be shipped out later, and they're like, "Well, no one's been in here for 3 days."
Well, it's also contingent on the people working there to be doing their jobs properly too, and there's probably all kinds of stuff that they are looking the other way, or they get So again, that's all inside politics. I'm just saying from the technology standpoint, I can't believe. Obviously humans, there's some fallibility there, but I can't believe they were like, oh, those cameras weren't working. How is that? For the money? Now, granted, if you're a private prison company, you're not looking to spend money. You're looking to make money, trying to keep the beds full. But that's a growth industry, incarceration. It's pretty wild.
I don't like that. Like for-profit prisons.
Oh, you don't? Hot take from Poundcake. You don't like for-profit prisons.
I don't like that because there's an incentive to send
somebody should get the word out. How do you feel about for-profit hospitals?
How do you feel about campaign finance?
I don't like any of that. And
He doesn't like any of it.
That's why I don't. Oh, come on. You guys finish it.
No, I know. I know.
Okay.
I know.
You didn't vote.
I like his rationale. I don't like these things, and that's why I don't do anything to change them.
I had to circle back.
That's right. I've got a break here. If you want to go see Stavros Halkias, he's bringing the Fat Rascal Tour to Playhouse Square next Saturday night. I'll give you my last pair of tickets here after the break.
the Chipotle app or at chipotle.com.
I'm Penelope Spheris. I'm a filmmaker and the host of a new podcast about a friend of mine, Peter Ivers. Peter was the host of a TV show featuring prominent LA punk bands until he was murdered in 1983. 40 years later, we dive into that music scene and the mystery of his passing. Listen to Peter and the Acid King on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, comedian Stavros Halkias is in town next weekend on the Fat Rascal Tour. He's going to do Playhouse Square. PlayhouseSquare.org has the info on the show. You want to go? You will get my last pair of tickets. So good luck. Call 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
Voice call received. Put this on the air, dumbass. You think you know it all? You're just nothing but a piece of shit. Talk about dumb shit that you don't have a clue about.
Another satisfied customer of the Alan Cox Show.
I hate it. This show sucks.
On 100.7 WMMS.
Want to send me a text 35192. AlanCoxShow.com to watch. Who's helping out today? Bergang Dunchley. Hey, thanks so much. Appreciate that.
Bergang Gang.
Bergang Gang. Give it up for the Bergang Gang.
Bergang Gang.
Guardians tonight begin their final descent towards the end of their 2023 season. It's the first of 3 in Detroit at Comerica against the Tigers. Both teams are pretty evenly matched. So we'll see what happens. 6:40 tonight. We will roll out for your pregame shortly after 6 o'clock, right after the Bill Squire Friday Get Down. And they will continue that series. It's 3 games. So tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday at 3:10 be the very last Guardians game of this season. And then we'll look forward to Cavs opening day, which is coming up on the 27th of October. And then Guardians opening day for the 2024 campaign will be April something? April 8th. It's a Monday against the Chicago White Sox. Very exciting. And today and tomorrow, your last couple of days to use the promo code SPICY for 20% off at CLE Clothing Company. And then there will be a brand new code for you for October.
Do you have
that
it?
begins on Sunday. Do I have the code word for October?
Ooh.
I mean, I don't know. Do I? I do.
Yeah. All right.
I think this one will be pretty easy.
Spooky.
Spooky for 20% off at CLE Clothing Company all through the month of October, during which there are 31 days. The last day of October you might recognize as a little thing called Halloween. So use the promo code SPOOKY, 20% off at CLE Clothing Company beginning in October, but spicy today and tomorrow. And that's if you do it online or you do it in store. And there's no maximum number of times you can use it. I was reading a terrifying story. It says that glaciers in Switzerland have lost 1/10 of their volume in 2 full years. I didn't even know glaciers made noise.
You know what? That's the joke I was going to make. You piece of crap. You piece of crap.
I saved you from that indignity.
Mm-hmm.
I jumped on that grenade.
Appreciate it.
That piece of crap. Still, I mean, it's terrifying.
It is. That's why.
So, yeah. keep your eyes on that. Keep your eyes to the skies. And
eat that, you piece of crap.
That's right. The volume of glaciers lost between 2022 and 2023 summers. So let's say from June 2022 to August of this year, equals the depletion they saw between 1960 and 1990. So over 30 years, they saw the same amount of depletion as they've seen over the last 2 summers. But hey, fortunately, that's all made up. So we'll be fine. It'll be okay. I take comfort in this guy who came out midweek, this evolutionary scientist, and he said, I think I've got a mass extinction date for mammals looking ahead. You know, again, I was having a conversation with my daughter on the way to school the other morning. She was asking me about humans relative to the age of the planet and how short of a time that we're technically here. And I said, well, you know, someday, the way that my daughter was explaining it to me, she said, well, whenever the Earth explodes way off into the future, the sun burns it up, or we kill all of our, kill ourselves or whatever. The way she explains it is that when the Earth explodes, all of the ghosts of people and animals will reform the Earth, and then that'll be the new Earth, and it'll be populated by the ghosts of people and animals.
Ghost
population. I guess. Ghost population. But this researcher said, I think that we have figured out a date for the mass extinction of mammals. And I was thinking he was going to say, like, March 31st, whatever. He has predicted that humans will cease to exist in 250 million years. So I don't know that we really need to be packing our crap yet, but
that doesn't really put any pressure on anyone.
No,
250 million years, like
we are nothing if not lazy.
Why
as
not
a species.
just say 300 million years at that point? Like, what's 50 million years?
Just say never. Say all of us will be dead already.
Forgotten.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
That's not going to get anybody motivated to change anything.
You can't even get
50 million
You
years.
can't even get people motivated now when they go, hey, we might all burn to death because of what's going on with the climate. You can't get people to do anything now. Why would you come out and go, yeah, I think I've really nailed down the calculations. 250 million years.
Now, is that on Earth, or are we going into a spaceship like on WALL-E?
On Earth.
Okay.
He thinks that the land masses will all converge in another big Pangea supercontinent.
Pangea 2?
Yep. Electric Boogaloo.
2Pangea.
Yeah. So another supercontinent.
Pangea Reloaded.
Mm-hmm. Now, when my grandmother was alive, she was super incontinent. And that was no fun at all. You don't want to be living like that.
Was it because was she actually not able to control it, or was she just having a good time, you know?
No, I'm making it all up for the purposes of a lame joke. My grandma was just fine.
Okay, I was going to say.
Never had issues like that. Nope. She was snapped shut like a bank vault.
Why do you know that?
Because we never had to clean anything up.
Okay.
Yeah. Never had to clean anything up. Maybe she did it. She did live alone until her 101st birthday. Those last few months, she was living with my parents. But even then, you know, she's like, I'll take the couch. Okay, that's what you want. Sleeping on her back, arms at her sides. Very, very depression.
Very corpse-like?
Yeah. So, you know, it was tough to tell. I mean, she died in the hospital, but again, that was very, you know, in my family, people don't spend long, protracted periods in the hospital. They go downhill really fast. And I think it's because my family...
My grandma's tough as nails. So a couple years ago, she was sick. She's in her 90s. She was in the hospital for a couple weeks, just real sick. A couple weeks ago, months ago, she fell and broke her hip. She's back out.
Mm-hmm.
You can't stop this lady. I mean, she's not as, self-reliant as she used to be, but she's not. They keep sending her to the hospital and going, yeah, this could be it. And then she gets out and she's like, nah.
Just kidding.
Not stopping me. So good for her.
I hope I'm that mobile when I'm that old.
I hope you're that mobile next year.
Why would I not be?
Dude, he's Orange Theory in this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, did you go?
Now that I have my mornings open.
I was going to say, boy, you must be working out. See, like morning is the only time I can work out. I'd much rather do it after work, but the only time I have to do it is in the morning.
Well, it would be,
I don't like an after work
the
workout.
the only reason why I would do it in the after work workout is because I work all freaking day.
Yeah.
And that was the only time I had to do it. I was not going to get up I'm sorry. I'm just not that disciplined. I'm not that driven to get up at 4 or 5 a.m. to make a 5 or 6 a.m. class. No way. So I have been, this was the first time I've gone in a minute just because with I've been working weddings. I've just been kind of real busy. But excuses. But I'm
getting
in there. I'm trying to get back on a regimen, and just with everything is up in the air right now, I don't have a specific time that I go. So I'm like, okay, well now that I have my mornings open, for the time being, I'm gonna go enjoy it.
Right.
You should get a job at Orange Theory. That could be your morning job. You can lead one of the classes.
I thought you were talking about like a front desk receptionist.
No. I think
why couldn't you lead a class?
Show up. Yeah, like
because I'm not.
All right, cupcakes. It's pound cake time.
I'd definitely be like a right hand man. I wash off some equipment, but leading a class, I think you have to have some type of certification or degree.
Get the certification.
People go to school for that. I lived with.
Well, so do that.
Yeah, just add to the. You already don't have to pay back your student loans for a few years. Might as well add on to some. Get a certification.
Well, hell.
And start being a trainer.
Side note, is this government shutdown going to affect our student loan repayment?
No clue. Well, no, because you're paying the loan, the companies, yeah? You're paying whoever serviced your loan. That's not the government. You mean, is it going to impact you maybe not having to pay them back as quickly?
I was like, there's no one in the office.
They want to get theirs. There's no way they're going to keep kicking this can down the road.
They got to.
Nope, they're not going to. They want their money.
No, they got to.
Well, you should get certified as a trainer. I think,
Give us do like a spin class for us.
Oh, you're like one. What's up, guys? Welcome to Spins R Us. I don't know what it would be called.
Spins R Us.
All right, we got a new business. I love it.
Spins R Us, and I'm Poundcake. I am your celebrity coach today. All right, I need you guys, all you hot soccer moms, I need you to get on that bike and pump it up. You want to get your cheeks all nice and tight. You'll get those thighs and that core all nice and lean. And when you get home, your cousin's going to work you out again. All right, babe, let's go.
I would go to that class.
I'm telling you, I think we have stumbled onto
He's onto something.
His actual
his vocation, his calling,
his next move. Because you can also turn this into like influencer type stuff, and you're engaging and funny and loud. It's all the things you need to be.
It is kind of funny though when you go to type in the Orange Theory location that I go to, the Lakewood location, my picture pops up. I didn't know that.
It should.
In the maps, like it has my little face and my little picture. I said, how did they do that? I didn't know that you could originate it, but I think it's all like curated. So many people have like searched that, or I think I probably like tagged them so many times that my picture
You're like
pops up.
Yeah. All right.
So literally,
they do have like instructors, correct?
Of course they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coaches.
You should look into and see what it would take to become one of those instructors.
Or one of those Peloton instructors. But you wouldn't be Poundcake. You can reinvent yourself in that arena as whoever you want.
That's when you can really become Beefcake.
Then you're Cody. Yeah, or whatever.
Oh, I need to get lean first. I'm gonna take my my lessons from the professionals, and that's more school that I have to deal with. So but definitely hands-on and hyping a class up, absolutely I could do that. I could be your number one hype man.
There you
but
go.
As far as like the laying out the workouts, bitch, I'm gonna be right there with them. I think that's my selling point. I'm in the crowd with you. I'm one of you.
That's right.
You can get certified in 4 weeks.
BS.
All right.
And you're a smart guy. You know how many half-wits are certified as physical trainers? Like, it ain't hard.
I don't know that. I
get
know
certified.
The people that I know are like this guy. I don't even know if he's a certified trainer, but he should be. I think my friend Cody, who's like an Instagram influencer, he has had abs since he was like 9, and I think he went to school for business. He went to Akron with me, and he just has the body of a Greek god, and I don't understand how he doesn't monetize that. I don't understand how he's not like a Peloton instructor.
Maybe he is.
Or something. He's not. He makes money on Instagram, but he doesn't cap. I mean, it's very minimal.
Well, I'm saying he's monetizing it somehow.
I found you could take a class through Orange Theory to do this. So here's what they're looking for in an Orange Theory coach: positive reinforcement,
check.
Leadership and inspiration,
check.
Ability to work with you as both an individual and a member of a group,
check.
High energy, passion, and an absolute love for and belief in what they do,
check.
Yeah.
Individualized encouragement,
yeah.
Propensity. Go faster, bitch. Propensity to challenge you based on your goals, yet keeping an eye on your statistics to make sure you're training at the correct level. Knowledge to provide options for each exercise.
Okay, so that's where I would need help in.
That's where you learn, but that's what you need to work on. Expertise at paying attention to each aspect of the workout, rower, treadmill, floor, and how each member is executing each. So again, that's what. These are not impossible things to learn, though.
No.
Acknowledgement of your wins and victories, however seemingly small. And we've seen that when you win something, you acknowledge it all the time.
He can take a small win and make it big. He can do that
to
for
their
you.
own fitness and joining in class when not coaching, and then seeing your own potential, encouraging you to see it too. So I think you could definitely do this. You should talk to them.
See, on the side, you do a thing called Get Lean with Poundcake, and when they sign up, you just hand them purple drank.
Okay. What's in the purple drink?
You're handing them lean. They go, oh, no, I wanted to work on my core. Yeah, of course. I want to work on my core. No, it's Get Lean with Poundcake. You walk up and you get some scissor.
Yeah, but you need a Zan with that, too. Is Zan with that lean?
Is Zan with that lean. All right, well, that's around the back of the van. That's right. They're onto something here.
I think Poundcake as a fitness instructor is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And I'd show off my hot. You guys would get sick of me. I would have my hot.
Because you'd have people coming.
I would just be happy that you're doing something that makes you happy and makes you better. And you'd be making good money.
And think about all the men, the filthy, disgusting men.
The filthy, disgusting
men you could handle.
I've got your finger. I've got your finger. I've got your finger.
But it's not my finger.
Tricky donkey, honky tonky, from San Francisco to Milwaukee.
I feel weird. Oh, I feel funky.
You're fine, my little donkey.
I feel dizzy. I feel sick.
You're fine, my little donkey.
I'm a muscle bitch. I'm a muscle bitch. I'm muscle. I'm a muscle bitch. I'm a muscle bitch. I'm muscle.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. Auto Parts. This is The Buzzard.
From the Barrio Tacos, Tequila, and Whiskey Studios.
100.7 WMMS, Cleveland.
Now it's time to give stuff away. Alan is giving some stuff away.
All right, you want to go see Bill Burr live? The pride of Canton, Massachusetts is coming to Canton, Ohio. Next Saturday night, the Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. Bill Burr live. HOFvillage.com. That's their website. That'll have whatever info you might need. Last pair of tickets from me this week for next Saturday night with Bill Burr in Canton. Good luck. Caller 10. These are yours. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
This is the best time of the year when the leaves are falling, and so is your IQ, because you're listening to the Alan Cox Show
On 100.7
WMMS.
The show yesterday, you can hear all of our previous shows on the iHeartRadio app. If you listen to us on the app from out of Ohio, tell me where. I'd like to know where people are. Andy is one of our bureau chiefs in Topeka, Kansas. Yes?
That's pretty cool. But it's got to cost a ton of money, right?
Oh, my God. It's absolutely free.
What?
From what I can tell, free never sounded so good.
Right.
Is what I hear the commercials
It's
saying.
so free that we don't even get paid for it.
No, absolutely. It's free to them. It's free to you.
We do it for free.
Listen, we are happy to give of our time and our meager talents, let's be honest, for your possible entertainment. It's the best we can do. Dan is one of our bureau chiefs in Chicago, Illinois. Evan listens in Des Moines, Iowa. Nick's in Austin, Texas. Chelsea is a new Canadian bureau chief in Peterborough, Ontario. So thank you one and all for listening. Next week on the show, I will have tickets for you to go see John Oliver. You know, a lot of those guys decided to hit the road because their shows weren't on because of the writer's strike. That strike has been...
It's over.
Yeah, it's been figured out. So John Oliver's show will be back on Sunday night.
I'm excited for that.
On
I
HBO.
love that show.
Me too, yeah. But he is here Wednesday, October the 11th. John Oliver live at the Akron Civic Theater. I'll also have tickets for the return of Static X and Seven Dust. They're doing a co-headlining run after the first of the year. So they'll get to the Agora end of February. Bullet for My Valentine is going to do the Agora in a couple of weeks. And Chelsea Handler is going to be at Playhouse Square on the 20th of October. So
did you
all
see
those
the
shows,
marquees?
No, I saw a thing on Twitter. I saw some video of them lighting up the marquees.
They look great.
They had their big marquee lighting ceremony last night at Playhouse Square. So what does that consist of? I mean, they've been having shows the whole time.
They've been having shows the whole time, but now the marquees, they updated them, and so each theater that's over there, because before I think they just had the marquees for the State Theater and the Keybank State Theater for like the two big theaters.
Okay.
But now all of them have like an updated digital marquee and they look fantastic.
Okay.
They're stylized. They're bigger than life.
Well, I'll have to get down there.
Yeah. I mean, if you watch the video, Cleveland Magazine has a good video that you can watch on Instagram where you get an idea of what they have going on over there.
But this is not part of that plan to make all of downtown bright all the time.
No, this is just like a Playhouse Square thing that they were doing independent of all that stuff. But it looks fantastic. I think it really takes it's one of the best theater districts in the country, and now it looks the part.
That's what they always say.
And the
they
chandelier.
love to say that.
You got that chandelier too.
It does look pretty cool, but to be honest, I walk past Playhouse Square, or I don't go to Playhouse Square enough to notice the difference.
Well, then it's not for you.
It's very different, though.
Take the long way around next time you're walking down by Playhouse Square. You are forbidden to even set your eyes on those new displays.
I like Playhouse Square. I've gone to Playhouse Square on many different occasions. I'm just saying I don't go. It's not like me walking into work every day. Like, you see the little arch, and that's mainly the only thing you see. I wouldn't notice the old marquee from the new marquee. I wouldn't notice.
But maybe you will.
Well, because I know they're new, and everyone made a big to-do about
But
it.
I think you would notice because they are so much more modern, and they have color-changing lights.
I mean, before, kind of to Poundcake's point, it's not like they were using bulbs before on the marquees, they had digital displays on the marquees.
I don't think they changed. I don't think.
Well, anyway, they did make a big deal about it, and it's probably money well spent.
I think they look good.
And they do love crowing about the fact that Cleveland has the second largest theater district in the United States, behind New York. Does that mean by square blocks? Is it square miles?
I'm not sure.
I think it's the amount of theaters.
Well, there's like 6, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And
there's Mimi?
Because just every building is not inside each building there might be multiple theaters.
Yeah, because there's the Mimi, the Allen, Hannah, the State.
Now, when I finally,
Palace,
I assume it's an homage. So when I finally get drummed out of Cleveland, what will they change the name of the Allen Theater to?
Well, it's not named after.
I'm sorry?
It's not named after you.
Oh, I have been severely misinformed. Well, that's on me then.
It's Allen.
Ah, that is not my name.
That is not your name.
No matter how many times you emailers spell it like that,
which is
after typing in my actual email address, that's not how you spell it.
For the longest time, I thought that's how I spelled my name, and it's not.
How long of a time did you misspell your middle name?
A long time.
How did you not know how to spell your middle? Is it your middle name's Alan?
Allan. And I was spelling
your middle name has 2 L's.
2 L's and then an A.
Right. I thought it was spelled like mine.
I was spelling it Allen.
I thought it was spelled like mine.
No. It's not anything about you, Alan.
Well, no, I just thought that, I thought that you had said that when it was spelled like mine.
No.
Well, so at what point did you find out? And how did you not know?
Into my 20s.
Into your 20s.
Until I actually...
You didn't know how to spell your middle name.
Until I took possession of my birth certificate and my Social Security card.
Right.
And that was around my 20s after I got out of college.
It never came up in conversation.
She told me my middle name was Alan.
Right.
And I had my own idea. There was an Oberlin at the time. I don't know if it's still called Allen Memorial Hospital, but it was... that's what it used to be called. So
you had never seen a document with your full name on it?
No. So I just assumed because Allen Memorial Hospital, where I was born, Allen, that's what I thought mine was.
Gotcha.
And I just missed a letter. Change out the E for an A.
Well, my way is the proper way to spell it, but there are many, many variations on it. Allen is most commonly a surname. But, okay, well, then that's just one more thing that sets us apart, Cody. I don't want to pull the curtain back too far, but Poundcake and I are always having meetings after the show, whether on Zoom or we'll be texting each other going, how can we possibly differentiate ourselves more for the benefit of the audience? Because it's very difficult to do. We're so similar that we've really tried to drill down and figure these things out. So we'll both write that down, and that will be one more way that we can differentiate ourselves.
And we can meet behind the bleachers after the show today.
What bleachers?
Find some bleachers.
He had to make it weird. It was just fine up until then.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. Well, anywho.
I like that you sexually harass your boss.
It's not.
Is that what he was doing? I thought he wanted to give me weed. Oh, boy, I really misread that situation. You think you're going into one thing, and it ends up being something entirely different.
Speaking of weed, I ran out of my dab pen last night. Sad times.
I got one if you want it.
Do you have to, how does that work? Do you have to go buy like a new cartridge for it?
It depends on what kind you get. There's some that
What kind did you get?
I had a disposable one where you use it till it's gone and then you throw it away. So it didn't have a cartridge. I have just like the portable one where you have the charger and you just got to get a cartridge, but that wasn't the one I was using.
And so it ran out?
Yeah, I ran out of...
and you didn't have like another cartridge?
No, because I'm not a big... contrary to popular belief, pot is just something to cool down. I don't...
Yeah, but you do talk about hitting the pen a lot.
Not as of recently.
We don't know. We don't have a calendar for you, but I mean, if...
You bring it up more than anybody else on the show.
You really do. I mean, I don't do that at all, so it's like, but you do bring it up a lot. To the casual listener, they would think that you were vaping a lot.
I just find it hilarious that in 2023, back in the day, no one would ever think about charging their weed, and I get a kick out of that. Like, I can't leave the house without your phone charged and your weed charged. So that's the only reason why I bring it up. But no, I don't have like a card or anything like that. And I only have one, and when I run out, if I get another one, I get another one. If I don't, eventually I'll get another one. But it's not.
I got one.
It's not a priority.
Do you want it?
I'm looking at the camera.
Why don't you just get more cartridges for it?
Because that was a single-use one.
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
I had a disposable one.
You gotta go to. He's got to make a trip to Michigan, is what he's trying to say.
Is that true?
I mean,
is that where you got that one?
Be able to get it legally. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
But I got one if you want it.
Okay.
All right, $75.
No.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Weed every day.
That's what I'm saying, and I don't make it a
All
priority
right,
because it's expensive.
$100.
It just went up. No,
inflation, man.
All right, my last offer, $375. Take it or leave it. Otherwise, it's highway robbery. You're ripping me off.
You can have it free of charge, but I get to punch you in the stomach one time.
Wow.
I might consider that. That's how cheap I am.
How many? So the disposable ones, does it tell you like how many hits or what is it? So you just are doing it until it's done?
You can see it. Sometimes, I mean,
it's transparent. You can see.
You can see like the dab oil inside of there. I think that's what it's called.
Gotcha.
You can see when you're running low, and I could smell. I was like, oh man, it's getting down to the bottom. I'm getting like the little, all the ingredients, the stuff that wasn't stirred up properly. I'm getting all
You're
that
getting
stuff.
the residue.
Yeah.
What passes for residue in the vape age?
It just tastes different.
Okay. Yeah, I don't do any of that stuff. I guess maybe I'm a purist when it comes to that stuff.
You just like the
regular flour.
Well, I'd rather smoke it, or mostly I eat edibles. That's mostly what I do.
And that's what I don't do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do that. I rather, because the pen is what I can control. I'm a control freak. I like to control my high as much as possible. And I know if I take 2 hits, I know after the next time if that is too much. So I can gauge it. Edibles, I'm not doing that.
When the edibles hit, it hits like a ton of bricks.
Well, that's if you're eating like half a brownie or something.
Well,
like
but
the edibles that we have.
You do little ones.
Yeah, you have like a half or whatever,
Yeah.
And after a while, like I forget I even took one. I'm like, I forget that like.
Yeah,
I kind of feel good, but then I forget I took one.
When I do edibles, I do like 5 to 10. No more than 10.
Yeah. That's fine.
That's too much.
That's fine.
I don't like to be that high.
I don't like,
but I like smoking. I like smoking a joint.
I feel like now that's like so old fashioned where people like have an actual bowl or actual bong or actual like blunt.
Well, it is more labor intensive, but also it probably is old school because as more technology comes along. But like when people are talking about
that's probably healthier.
When people are talking about like oil, that's not weed to me. it gives you the same desired effect, and it's got elements in it that, but if somebody's like, I'm smoking weed, it would never occur to me they were talking about a pen.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I like about it. There's no smell. There's no residue. It's easily transportable. I like that.
Plus, I don't really need it anymore because you can walk around anywhere in downtown Cleveland and get a contact high now. So everywhere smells like weed.
You always say that, and I don't feel like I...
When I come to work in the morning, the garage smells like it. It smells like outside. All of downtown smells like weed.
They are not shy. I saw a dude literally
I definitely
hit a
have
blunt
from time to time, but I don't see I don't feel like I smell it as much.
I smell it every day I walk in. It's either that or poop. And I don't know if that's someone pooped or it's
someone pooped.
It might be the water system. I don't know.
No, it's poop.
Yeah.
Oh, there's poop.
Downtown Cleveland, it's a real coin flip. We play a game called Weed or Poop.
Weed or Poop.
Yep.
But I'd much rather smell weed.
Yes.
You don't want to get a contact high off feces. I would not recommend that.
Sentiment from Poundcake.
But
I'd rather smell weed than poop.
Sometimes people's weed do smell like poop. I don't know where they getting it. Their plug be hating them. I don't know why they have weed that smell like that. And I'm not even a pot guy, but I'm like, ooh, boy, you are eating. You got some shrubs or something in there. you got some dirt.
That Reggie, yo.
Reggie.
That would be some type of stuff that because I don't know, I'm not familiar with my plants well enough. Someone would play a prank on me, I go buy weed for the first time and they give me oregano or something. I feel like that would be something. Or what's the stuff that they have at Chipotle that my mom wants all the time?
Cilantro?
Give me some cilantro. Bruh, I'm gonna hook you up.
Let me dry out this parsley and I'll get right on you. I got you. Alan, Poundcake's timeline implies that he was working on the show before he learned how to spell his full name.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely
But isn't
correct.
it great to be an adult and still be learning things about yourself? I mean, isn't that what everybody's aspiring to do? They're like, I'm just working on myself, learning about myself. And for Poundcake's perspective, that included something the rest of us take for granted, is being able to spell your full name.
Yeah. And it would be something if I knew how it was spelled and then I just didn't correct myself. That would be one thing, even though I have the Social Security number in my birth certificate. But yeah, I always knew. I questioned my mom. I said, well, having all this, why didn't you correct me? She's just like, I didn't know you were spelling it incorrectly. I'm like, but you never told me. You just said it was Alan, and you never
told the way to spell it. Yeah,
wrote it out in front of me or anything.
That is a weird name because there's so many ways to. What is there? 3 main ways to spell.
And me and my
Alan.
brother have the same middle name too.
Well, that's
you
weird.
do.
Yeah.
Did he know how to spell it?
I don't know. I've never seen it written out. I've never seen his. I didn't even see mine written out until I looked at my own birth certificate.
He's A-L-E-N and you're with 2 L's.
Well, I'm gonna call him after the show and ask him how he spells it because I don't think he knows. Because I didn't know.
A-L-I-Y-N. All right.
Hey guys, listening to the podcast, and I have a conspiracy theory. Bill, buckle up. Alan is mustard, and he's the one that's been having all these shenanigans because he doesn't even like ketchup. It's full of sugar. Love me.
Listen, that would be ridiculous. I had nothing to do with
all those years of chasing around a toddler.
I'm sorry.
Led to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
I have not. Listen, I'm not averse to sugar. I love it. It just doesn't love me. I am not. I mean, how could I possibly refute that? That I'm mustard at the Guardians games. Well, my reign
Mustard has always been the kindest hot dog to me, and that would make the most sense. That secretly that was your way of calling out to me and saying, "Hey, Bill, I'm mustard." I'd always get pointed at and fist bumps for mustard, and it turns out this whole time it was just you.
Well, she said that's her conspiracy theory. There's simply no way to determine that that's. So then, why would I allow myself to be clotheslined by Andre Knott?
Because you didn't know what was going to happen. You were just. And it's hard to see anything in those suits.
I mean, did Mustard? Whoops.
See, just outed yourself.
Yeah,
Mustard man.
No, listen, that's a great, like she told you to buckle up. Bill, buckle up.
I did indeed buckle up.
He did. Bill had seat belts installed in all the seats here at the radio station, and just in time for your message. Thank you so much. What do I have for you after the break? Oh, you want to go to the haunted schoolhouse and laboratory down in Akron. Yeah, there's a lot of places that'll do a haunted schoolhouse. Yeah, sure. You might find a couple of places that have a haunted laboratory. But they've combined the two of them down there in Akron. You can go through Halloween. I'll have a couple of tickets for you after the break.
The Alan Cox Show.
for details subject to credit approval. Bridgestone, official tire of the Cleveland Browns, proudly sold at your hometown.
Why is iHeartRadio the #1 streaming radio app? Free music.
Free live radio stations from all over the country.
Free podcasts.
Free playlists.
Free contests. Free artist radio stations.
Commercial-free stations. It's free. I love iHeartRadio. Join the millions of music, radio, and podcast fans on the #1 streaming radio app now.
iHeartRadio.
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 Free never sounded so good.
All right, I want to get your Halloween on. I got tickets for you for the Haunted Schoolhouse and Laboratory down in Akron, celebrating 50 seasons of fear. Scenes and scares and incredible detail inside the Haunted Schoolhouse. They got the whole midway there, too, so you can pick up some grub, have a beer before you get going. HauntedSchoolhouse.com for all the details. Last pair of tickets here from me this week. Good luck, too, for the Haunted Schoolhouse down in Akron. Have fun. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
We now return to something barely worth your time. Already in progress.
The whole thing is f***ing pointless.
The Alan Cox Show.
On 100.7 WMMS.
King Diamond for Halloween. If you like falsetto in your heavy metal, play some King Diamond tomorrow night. Our metal show on Saturday nights is called 2 Hours to Midnight. Gets going at 10 o'clock. It's me, Corey Roddick, Pat Butler, all coming in to toss off 120 minutes of nothing but heavy metal. Got local music, got classics, got brand new stuff. Local band called Air to None. Gonna play for you tomorrow night. Got some brand new POD with Randy from Lamb of God. Got some brand new band called Go Ahead and Die. Cavalera Brothers from Sepultura. Doing a new thing, I think, with their sons. Anyway, tomorrow night, 10 o'clock, it's 2 hours to midnight here on The Buzzard. Also, beginning on Sunday, you'll be able to start using the promo code SPOOKY for 20% off at CLE Clothing Company. Spicy is your September word. Good for the remainder of the month. I guess tomorrow's the last day of the month. Already, September, over. And spooky for October. The Detroit Lions rolled into Lambeau Field last night now that it is an Aaron Rodgers-free Green Bay Packers. And pretty much rolled over them. The takeaway for people who are covering that game is how many Lions fans were at Lambeau Field. It's not usually the case. But it almost looked like a home game at Ford Field because there were so many people in blue jerseys. And Lions got an early lead and basically ran away with it. And the people who were there for, you know, doing the play-by-play or the post-game show or whatever were commenting on it.
I feel like I'm screaming right now because you would think that we were in Detroit with these fans. Unbelievable. Just enjoy this, Lions fans, for a second.
Well, they deserve that. They deserve this.
Yeah, listen, Lions fans are long-suffering fans.
They are.
Like Browns fans.
And I love that Tim Robinson is a Lions fan because Tim Robinson and Sam Richardson have gone to some Lions games, and they are using that video of Tim going, "You sure about that?" Makes me so happy.
34-20 was the final. The Lions are at 3-1. Your Cleveland Browns taking on Jim Harbaugh and the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday. That'll be an exciting game. Former Brown, isn't Jadeveon Clowney on the Ravens now?
Yeah.
They're making a big deal about that.
I don't think so. I think
thought he was.
I mean, he might be trying to make a big deal of it, but he's not on the Browns defense this year, and the Browns defense is the best in the league.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. They're very, very good.
Hey, look at them.
And so, I don't think that makes Jadeveon Clowney look good.
I see. Even in his absence, they're still killing it.
In their when he was on the defense was real bad. They had a bad coordinator. Joe Woods was not good. And now they got Jim Schwartz, former Lions coach. And now things are going really well for that defense. I think they have one of the top 4 defenses all time. Like there's not been defenses that have done what this Browns team has done, except 3 other times. So pretty impressive. Pretty impressive so far.
All right. Does it make you sad to be a Chargers fan now?
I mean, a little.
I mean, the last thing you want is people trolling.
I made my bed.
I know.
But I'm going to give them credit where it's due, and that defense is badass.
Sure thing.
So I'm gonna give them their flowers.
Joe Thomas is set to be feted one more time by the Cleveland Browns during the halftime ceremony.
Ring of Honor.
The Ring of Honor. Joe Thomas into the Ring of Honor. Now, what is the Ring of Honor?
So around the bowl of the stadium, there's a bunch of names and numbers retired. And his name and number will be added to that.
Wow, okay. I mean, he's probably wearing that Hall of Fame jacket everywhere he goes to. I certainly would. Because there's the added benefit of people thinking that you work for Century 21 Realtors. And that they might be able to use your wisdom for some rental property or something. So, yeah, Joe Thomas is going to get out there. And, of course, the place is going to go wild. It's a home game. They're going to love it. He'll get the Ring of Excellence from the Hall of Fame and be enshrined in the Brown Ring of Honor. I feel like that's a typo. But there it is.
It is not. It might be. They've probably forgotten that. It's not the Brown Ring of Honor.
That sounds like it
Brown's
is missing
ring. Yeah.
an S.
Brown's Ring of Honor, not the Brown Ring of Honor.
Brown Ring of Honor. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't know. Joe Thomas has been on this show. Lovely man, hard worker, seems like a great dude. I don't know
from time to time.
I don't know anything about his personal life. Brown Ring of Honor might be just as exciting for somebody. He's the first player from the Browns who played in the 21st century to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Browns legend Mac Speedy will also receive a Ring of Excellence. Remember Mac Speedy?
No.
He will be represented by his son-in-law. Maybe Mac Speedy is dead. I don't know. Anyway, 1 o'clock kickoff, Ravens, Browns live in Cleveland, Ohio on Sunday with Joe Thomas. And speaking of the Brown Ring of Honor.
In that Brown Ring of Honor.
Yeah. I was reading about Poundcake. Did you see the AIDS memorial that everybody's complaining about because of how it looks?
No.
The city of Palm Springs, California, commissioned. Have you seen this? Commissioned.
I had not seen this. Why?
There's a delay. I can't see it.
Yeah, let me
just Google it.
Yeah.
AIDS Memorial?
Yeah, Palm Springs.
Palm Springs AIDS Memorial. Why would they do that?
The complaints from the community are that it looks like an anus. Now, I think you see what you want to see.
What's it supposed to represent, though? How do they wrap
it is
that?
supposed to represent
an anus, it looks like it.
Well, the people who... the opening at the center is at eye level and it allows a view through, right? Now, the artist who makes anything will always have a very lengthy explanation about their work. You have to make it sound very important and the thought that went into it. This could also be A+ level trolling.
I was like, sir, this is a b-hole. Sir, plain and simple.
It looks like a donut with ridges on it. And the sculptor said that the opening in the center is at eye level, and it offers a connection and a view beyond what is directly in front of you.
Could be a C ring.
He said that he hopes it provides an opportunity for reflection and remembrance. Obviously, the people of Palm Springs are a little less than enthused.
So petty.
With the way that it's, if you want to bring that up on camera 6, Bill, I'll show the video here.
There we go.
The local news coverage.
Resembles other things.
You hear it called the donut.
Hold on, I'm clearly hearing two things here. Let me,
You got two windows.
Yep, hold on.
Raised about an AIDS memorial planned for downtown Palm Springs. Right now, the sculpture is planned to look like this. These pictures you're seeing here. And some people don't like it. News Channel 3's Jake Grassi live in studio with more on the controversy and possible changes in response to those concerns. Jake.
And John, it is a 9-foot sculpture planned for a Palm Springs park meant to remember lives lost to HIV and AIDS. But the design
I was going to say, Jake sounds like he might have some personal opinions.
He's like,
on
I actually think it was pretty fitting. I mean,
I trotted out on the way here.
And he's cute, too.
Well, yeah, he's on television. I mean, I know that doesn't necessarily mean there's a lot of not good-looking people on TV now, but yeah, it's Florida.
His hair's so swoopy.
Florida's a market you got to be, you got to look good on TV.
Resonate with everyone. In fact, some call it inappropriate, and the committee in charge says they are now listening. It's the proposed AIDS memorial sculpture, raising hundreds of thousands of dollars in the community and stirring up controversy over its shape.
See, the back looks weirder than the front. The one with the concentric circles looks okay. When they turn it around and it's got like ridges, it looks
limestone statue with concentric carved circles meant to represent the diverse community impacted by AIDS. Its eye-level opening signifying connection, reflection, and hope.
But dude, Frank Jackson would have loved to have had this here in Cleveland.
Right. Cleveland is perceived to be the butthole of the world sometime, right?
I don't like that they have a guy and a little boy walking in between the two donuts. I don't like that.
Well, I guess you're not alone in this, either.
Some saying it's too abstract.
It's really strained. I mean, this is almost like a piece of art looking for a purpose.
They're waiting for Bruce
instead
to
of the
poop
other
on
way
it.
around. It could be about anything, and as a consequence, it's kind of about nothing.
There's also the view that it too closely resembles other things.
You hear it called the donut all the time. You hear it called the word you can't say on camera all the time.
For some on social media and beyond, the design resembles an inappropriate body part on the rear end.
The backside of the proposed memorial looks like a graphic depiction of the backside of a human being.
The memorial is...
So the backside of a human being. They can't say anus on television.
They hate us because they ain't us.
But imagine what that's going to look like with the seagulls and like the pigeons poop on it.
Yeah, but it's such a...
Jeez, dude.
We have such
I'm just saying.
I know.
We have...
It's true.
I know. We have such a wild country, though, that you have people complaining that it looks like a beehole, but then they go to cover it and everybody's dancing around it. Nobody wants to say on television...
They don't want to offend the gays. That's what it is.
But well, first of all, I don't know that gay people are offended. Second of all, I don't know that. I don't know. I mean, you heard that one guy. He's like, it doesn't really do anything.
But
I
guess it depends on the story, because last time I checked, we weren't allowed to say the S word on live broadcast. But because Trump did it, Anderson Cooper couldn't stop saying the S word for S whole countries.
Oh, S word for poop.
Yeah, they were saying that left and right after Trump did it.
Well, because that was a news quote.
And this is news.
Well, but they're not saying... Well, right, but...
You can say anus if it's not in, you're not talking about,
But they wouldn't be quoting anyone. I mean, when Trump was president and was saying S-hole countries, they were quoting him. You can do that stuff if it's a news quote. That was their loophole, if you pardon the pun. But this thing here, it's just weird. Anus is a medical term.
That's what I'm saying. They can't say...
And they're dancing around it, and it's so strange.
I think it's probably because there's a lot of scrutiny on the gays in Florida right now.
No, it's because everybody wants to complain, but nobody wants to stand up for their complaints. Everybody wants to complain and bitch and whine about something, but they don't want to say, here's what I think, There's plenty of people complaining with no facts whatsoever about a variety of things. But if they were doing a television piece and they were like, we think it looks like an anus, then you can have a grown-up conversation.
Okay.
I mean, it's still pretty silly. I'm curious how the sculptor arrived at that. Because there had to be some thought about, like, well, how is anybody who is commissioned to do public art? This is not in your gallery. This is not,
public guys.
Well, public art. If it's going to be somewhere, I would think there would have to be a thought on the part of the artist. How could this be perceived? How can I best, you can get lost. Well, you can get lost up your own ass. If you're an artist and you kind of aren't seeing the bigger picture. What's that?
I think it's a big troll.
I think
they knew what they were doing.
I think some people thought that too, and that's where the complaints were coming from. But when I saw the first pictures, I was like, well, that's not that big of a deal. It's just concentric circles. But on the other side,
it's all ripped.
For our pleasure.
I think it's a big troll, and it's a way to get national attention, and then that way they'll have a budget to work with. People, that's not a good memorial, but then people will be compelled to give money to the cause because they don't want a b-hole representing their pandemic. That was the LGBTQ pandemic back then.
Yeah, but also people, and I think rightly, they say, well, that's what you see, and that says more about you.
No.
People are always injecting their own biases into things too.
But it's just a sculpture, but like they ain't have no blood on it for all the bloodshed.
Right. This guy.
I'm sorry.
Blood for the bloodshed.
I'm just saying, like, it could have been a pair of hands, like the government had blood on their hands. They didn't do anything about it. There's a million different ways he could have gone with that.
That's true.
It's a chiseled, ripped circle.
You can take me, but you cannot take my bunghole.
You hear it called the donut all the time. You hear it called the word can't say on camera all the time.
The backside of the proposed memorial looks like a graphic depiction of the backside of a human being. I can just visualize the whole slew of potential social media posts making fun of something that is so important to our community.
Well, there you go. They don't want people making fun of it.
And that's how much
they don't want it to become like a goofy tourist attraction when it's supposed to be an AIDS memorial.
Well, if they cared that much, they should have vetted the person. Where's our
like give them
money?
some guidance.
Yeah, here's what we want. Here's and then check in on it. You take someone at their word.
Yeah,
to get some.
Before they present the sculpture, let's see a proof.
I'm just
he just rolls it off the truck and into the park.
I don't know this for a fact, but I feel like if you want to get anything done downtown, if you want to get a pothole filled or something like that, there's levels of people you got to talk to before people actually go to work and do it. That's why nothing ever gets done. So why don't they do the same thing with a sculpture that you value so much? It means something to the culture down there, and the big unveiling, and no one knew that it was a donut.
I think things like this. I mean, you're talking about the City Works Department and things like that. With respect to potholes. I think something like this, though, if you have someone who's like donating money to the city for the purposes of a memorial, like, I don't know that they were using city money. It could have been a donation.
Still, it's a lot of trust.
There's probably less. I think when someone else is paying for it, there's a lot less vetting because they're like, yeah, cool. You want to drop $1 million for not just the statue they should have vetted. They should have vetted the people writing the headlines for these stories, too. I think proposed AIDS memorial anus statue getting pushback was not the best way to write that headline.
That's exactly how you write that headline.
Well, anyway, the people of Palm Springs there, which I think is a pretty Tony community, too. I mean, it's not, they're pretty hoity-toity. It's a lot of golf courses. There's a lot of spas. There's a lot of, that's out in the Coachella Valley. They should have put it out of Coachella. You'd have influencers hanging on it all the live long day.
Hey, that guy that called in and said you guys are always talking about Trump and hating on fat people doesn't know what he's talking about. Because usually you guys are just talking about what kind of foods you guys eat and dislike. And I goes, I can't eat dairy. And, oh, I like bananas with naked bananas. And Bill's like, oh, I eat everything. And Poundcake's like, I like men's penis. So that's what I usually hear when I listen to the show. And also, if you ain't watching Killing It, you're doing it wrong. That Australian girl is cute and funny and hot.
Oh, that's it. Okay. Well, that's the beauty of this is everybody hears something different. By the way, she is not hot, Claudia O'Doherty, if you're watching Killing It there on Peacock. She's funny. I would not call her hot. Cute, maybe? Can you be cute and hot?
I think so.
Oh, no. Can you? I thought those were two separate delineations of... she is funny, but I don't know that I would look at her and think she's hot. But anyway, but yeah. What that guy hears is different than maybe somebody else might hear. It's different things to different people. That's the beauty of it. But Killing It Season 2 over there on Peacock. And again, it's the accent. I used to like the accent, the Australian accent, and now it's, because my daughter still watches a lot of Bluey, and that's tough too, boy. It's tough. And those are just cartoon dogs. I've got a break. I will have a couple of passes for you. Last pair of the week to see Bill and Mary. Bill's new taping at the Agora in December is going to happen on December the 22nd. And you can go to agoracleveland.com for the info. I'll have another pair of tickets for you later on.
It's the Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app. Rover's Morning Glory.
Someone stole your mom's dildo when you
Is sponsored by NOPEC. No one does more to lower your utility bills. Electric bills skyrocketing? You can opt into NOPEC at any time for rates as low as 6.45 cents per kilowatt hour. It only takes one phone call to NOPEC's Customer Care Center at 888-851-0459. That's 888-851-0459.
This is The Buzzard.
From the Barrio Tacos, Tequila, and Whiskey Studios. Voted Best Taco by Cleveland Scene and Cleveland Magazine.
The Buzzard. The home of the Buzzard. This is 100.7 WMMS. Cleveland.
Alan, you have been described by your enemies as evil, insane, manipulative. Who are you?
Call the Alan Cox Show. 216-578-1007 or 1-800-348-1007.
$35192. Want to send me a text? AlanCoxShow.com is where you look at our faces. Thanks again to Bergang Dunchley.
Bergang Gang.
Bergang Gang.
Bergang Gang.
If you listen to us on iHeartRadio, tell us where, if you're doing it outside Ohio. Locally, of course, we love to hear from you as well, but the people who have to listen to the show on the app, they have an extra step there. Matt is a bureau chief out in Irwin, Pennsylvania. That's far southeastern suburbs of Pittsburgh, if memory serves. They used to call Irwin, PA, the biggest little town in Pennsylvania. I don't know if they still do. There's only about 4,000 people there, so it's little. Joe listens in Moncks Corner, South Carolina. Nick and Cora are listeners in Golden Valley, Arizona. Catherine's down in Tampa. And Matt's out in D.C. So thank you. Guardians will play the first of 3 tonight, the very last series of the season. They're in Detroit to play the Tigers at Comerica. We will get you into pregame around 6:05. That will push up the Bill Squire Friday Get Down, which means we can start the weekend even earlier. And there's no downside to that. And then Sunday morning, Bill and Poundcake are your hosts for the week in Cox. And it's 2 hours, the best stuff from the week. And boy, do we have a good 2 hours for you on Sunday morning. I mean, if you've ever gotten up early or been up or gotten home really, really late.
I have a feeling, too, that this Week in Cox is going to be a good one. Like the hosting, pretty good.
It always is. Always is. I have no doubt. Hey, Mark.
What's up?
How are you?
I'm good. I hope I make best of this week.
Well, let's see how this goes, Mark.
No, I was calling about the sculpting.
Mm-hmm.
Reminds me, I don't know, did you guys ever watch Everybody Loves Raymond?
Occasionally,
when Ray's mom takes a sculpting class and abstract sculpting, and she sculpts a big vagina, it looks like, and puts it in Ray's living room.
Oh, I remember that one.
I do not remember that.
So you do remember? Oh my God, I think it's one of the better ones. And then she wants to donate it to the Catholic Church.
Oh, looks like a vagina.
Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah, they're like, no, they're just like looking at it like, we don't think we want it. It's pretty funny. So just reminds me of that. So.
All right. Thank you, Mark. There's Mark out in Ravenna. You want me to show everybody this? Yeah. You want to put on camera 6?
Got it. Don't move.
Oh, my. Well. Pretty abstract. Okay, all right. Let's load this puppy up.
Good, sisters. I'm glad you're here.
Oh, boy.
Mrs. Barone, hello. Is
that the sculpture you intended to contribute to the church auction?
Yes.
Well, don't you think the subject matter might be inappropriate?
Subject matter? What do you mean?
Forgive me, but is that not a sculpture of... What?
What's wrong with you?
She thought it was a vagine.
It looks very
Sleeve of Wizard.
Yeah.
Nope. Haven't seen that one.
There's also in Community, they design the school's logo, and it is an anus. And that's like a running gag throughout the series. And that logo reminds me of that sculpture. So
okay,
I definitely get anus from that sculpture.
Yeah.
It's giving anus.
It's giving anus.
It's giving anus.
Alan, baby, love you. Cody, listen to you talk about marijuana is hilarious. I love it. Believe it or not, we still roll joints. I don't know if I ought to say that. No. We still roll things. Yeah, there's still bongs and all that, man. And people who can take like 20 milligrams of edibles and be fine.
All right, well, yeah. I don't think he was confused about that. I mean,
he's just saying his preferred method.
That's not his method of delivery.
I think if you still smoke the flower and you have the OG methods of smoking pot, you are, you're an OG. Because a lot of people are like, oh, well, I like the little dab pen. Me, I thank God have not had a bad trip on an edible, but I am also paranoid, and that is not a good way to go into experiencing highness.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to get high and get bad news. That's what I'm afraid of. Like,
get high and then get bad news.
Like eat an edible. You're going to be high for 2 or 3 hours, whatever. And then someone's like, oh, mom is in the hospital or something or someone's in the hospital. And I was like, I can't go. I'm high.
Yeah, but what if you're dabbing your pen and get bad news?
I'm high right now, but I can come down.
Weed every day.
Edible, you can't do anything about that. Like I can.
Yeah, but the bad news is still going to be there once you come down.
The bad news won't hit as hard if you're high. I mean,
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's the way life goes.
Hey, man, you know what?
We're all just meat vessels.
We're all going to be fine.
Like if I'm on the edible high, I got to wait till the edible wears off. If I hit the pen, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to hit this anymore, and then drink some water, eat something real quick, and I could sober myself up if I wanted to, but I'm like, I'm going to let it roll. Like I just watch a movie or something and let it roll.
You want that, I got that one if you want it. I'll punch you in the stomach, and it's all yours.
Okay.
There's like 2 or 3 good hits left on it.
Why do you want to punch? I thought it was full. Bill's got 1 hit, and then you get about 4 out of the pen.
Ask him what kind it was anyway. I'm like, what is it?
I don't know, just it's a hybrid.
Indigo and Latvia?
Indigo and Latvia. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Sir, you thought you enjoyed hearing Poundcake talk about marijuana before. Try on Indigo and Latvia. Do you want a toe high or an ear high? Why was punching him in the stomach your choice?
Because he's jealous of me.
Why is he jealous of you?
I don't know. Ask him.
I just, it just would be funny, I think.
To punch him in the stomach.
Obviously, I'm not going to actually do it.
Whatever. Bill has a vendetta for me. He's always wanted to hurt me ever since he threw that.
A vendetta?
That mashed potato.
Oh, that was the
rock,
best.
Whatever that was.
That slab of instant mashed potatoes that cracked him in the chest.
That knocked the wind out of me. I don't think I've ever had the wind.
You're talking about the polar blast punishment.
Yeah.
Since me and my brother would fight as kids, I don't think I've been hit that hard. It just was like, boom. And it did not.
I was trying to get it more watery, but it was.
No.
That was some concrete.
It was like cement.
Yeah, potatoes.
Ouch.
You're welcome, though. That was fun.
A vendetta. I mean, that's a very intense way to look at it.
I always think of the movie Dirty Work when I think of punching someone in the stomach, because that's if they don't pay their landlord on time, the landlord's punishment is I get to punch you in the stomach.
Yep.
And then he punches Christopher McDonald in the stomach.
Well, maybe that'll be something you can work out with your landlord, Poundcake.
Mm-hmm.
You don't pay your rent on time. He can punch you in the stomach.
No.
All right.
No. I'll hook before then.
Okay. He'll hook before then, Bill. You won't have
Just
to worry about
one.
it. He'll just turn tricks.
I will.
One shot.
I think I would rather turn tricks.
You're the one that you were in your boxing class. You know, probably know how to take a punch because of that.
Oh God, throwback. I forgot I took a boxing class.
Did you ever spar, or is it just?
It was just a bag.
Okay.
Just a bag, bro.
Slapping the bag.
He likes to slap the bag.
I love a slap bag.
Does the Hopkins Airport ever auction off all the crap they take?
All the weapons?
Well, yeah, because they do.
They got that case where.
Well, they've got the glass case of the confiscated weapons, but every year, the Pittsburgh Airport does an auction of all the stuff that was never claimed or all the stuff that was confiscated, and so they have this massive auction. It's coming up next week. Our Pittsburgh bureau chiefs know about this, and if you don't, it's going on next week. And so they have like cowboy boots and designer handbags. And a lot of it is just things people left or forgot. But some of it, I think, is confiscations too. They have a dozen abandoned cars that are going to be auctioned off. They've auctioned off in the past an alligator head that was stuffed, a toilet seat. Imagine bidding on someone else's left-behind toilet seat. They got python skin cowboy boots this year that they think will go for a few $100. And it's for charity. I don't know if you, I imagine you can probably do it online too, but I'd never heard of that here. And I wondered if Hopkins Airport does something like that because I couldn't find anything online if they do. They're not going to auction off those weapons because that's already a big display piece. Now, I don't know if they add to that. Is it got like a hinged cover that they just keep putting things in there? Or is that a static display? They have another one coming. Because I had never seen that in an airport before I moved to Cleveland. I'd never seen an airport that had a display of confiscated weaponry. It was quite striking when first time we flew out of Hopkins. But if they do this online for the Pittsburgh International Airport, might be worth looking into. Buy yourself some python skin cowboy boots, Poundcake. You want to butch things up.
Now we're talking.
That's pretty slick.
You should have a pair of cowboy boots in your arsenal.
Because if you walk into the gym with cowboy boots and then you like switch into your gym clothes, but then you leave with the cowboy boot, like that would be, and be like, there goes, he's a real rustler.
How much do
a real rustler?
Yeah.
He's a real one. Real what? Yeah. Rustler? He's a real rustler.
Yeah, he's got all that cowboy boot swag. That's a hard look to pull off. Cowboy boots are not easy to look good in.
I had a cowboy boot phase, like
bring it back.
Part of high school, maybe.
Yeah.
It was more of like a heavy metal thing than like cowboy boots. But I'll tell you what, the first couple times we went to Austin, because there's these huge outdoor bazaars. It's Texas, so everywhere. I mean, the convenience stores are selling friggin' cowboy boots. There are some very cool, like, handmade boots that people are selling. But to your point, I was like, I don't know if I can pull this off.
It's tough. You have to have the right look, and also, as a big guy, like a fat guy trying to wear cowboy boots, I don't
go
like
up your
it.
Freaking leg.
Well,
go up your thigh.
It's not about that. It's about just how pointy it makes my toes look.
Yeah, it's a chonky look.
Yeah, and I have big feet already, so they're just so long, and my body's so big, and then my feet get real long and skinny, and I just look like the
Captain Jack Sparrow.
No, like wasn't there a cowboy in one of the what was the educational cartoon?
Schoolhouse Rock?
Schoolhouse Rock. I felt like there was a cowboy
like
in that.
the rootinest, tootinest, I don't know.
That's Woody.
I don't remember. But no. I look like a cartoon like a fat cartoon cowboy, and it's not a good look.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever owned a pair of cowboy boots.
Look like Uncle Pecos from the old Tom and Jerry cartoon. Remember Uncle Pecos? Here's what I play for my encore. He's like, hip, hip, doodle, up.
Gotta rehearse my song. Whoa, what the That's kind of pretty before it gets started, ain't it? Oh, Froggy Money Gordon, he did ride.
Oh, you know what I look like? I look like the prospector from Toy Story 2.
You long white mustache.
He did ride a sword and a pick and a revolver by his side. Cambo killed flop do yellow bug, two lot of That's the hard part right in there. And then
I don't know what crambone is, but that's yeah.
Scatting. How much does a quality pair of cowboy boots run?
What do you mean? Like if they're handmade, I mean they can be very expensive.
Well,
you can, however much money you have to spend, you can spend them on cowboy boots. I mean, if you go to like a leather store in the mall, you could probably get a pair for $100. But I mean, you know, if like I said, we were walking around a bazaar in Austin, and you can spend a lot of money on cowboy boots. Basically, if they're snake skin, if they're just like fake leather, if they're alligator skin, you know, you can really get a look going. But Bill's right. They're definitely not for everyone. And the money that it was going to cost me, I was like, this is a real gamble. But they looked cool. But, you know, back in the day when we were all kind of, you know, it was a period of time where everybody was kind of, you know, dressing like they were getting ready to do a gig on the Sunset Strip. Everybody had their boot phase.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it qualifies as...
Who got that going?
What's that?
Like the rock cowboy look.
It wasn't even cowboy. It was just like leather pants and then like boots with buckles on them and stuff.
I was going to say, I don't know if it counts as cowboy
But then you
boots,
look at like Lemmy. He always kind of rocked that look.
Yeah, that was more of a motorcycle vibe.
yeah.
Yeah. A lot of hard leather, more like motorcycle boots than cowboy boots. But Lemmy too, yeah, because he always had the hats on.
The hats. Bret Michaels.
Yeah, yeah. You can do the leather cowboy thing. You can do the the hill rod cowboy thing. It's just that if you walk around all day long in cowboy boots and you're not used to them,
it's rough.
It's very rough. Yeah, you'll get home and want to saw your legs off. Alan, I know a guy who...
Poundcake would say you want to seam your legs off.
What's that?
I wouldn't have said that, but yes, I get it.
In what setting does one wear alligator skin cowboy boots? I don't know. I mean,
like
in Texas, in Texas, nobody's going to look at you sideways if you're wearing cowboy boots made out of anything. Alan, Poundcake would be such a wonderful little prostitute. I could imagine him out on the street getting all turned.
Oh, sweetie.
Turn you out.
I didn't say I would be working the block. I said I would hook.
He would be an escort.
I would be an on-call type of guy.
Boy.
Yeah, you got to set up an appointment.
Yeah.
Well, I think hooking implies you're on the corner. If they rent you, if you're with a service, hooking is you're on the street.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
I look when
you just made a mess.
The hunk of cheese.
A hanker for a hunka, a slicer slabber chunka.
That's
a hanker for a hunk of
That's me in
cheese.
cowboy boots.
Let me find him. Time for timer. This one hanker for a hunk of cheese.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, bang. Oh, howdy, partner.
The spindly legs.
Do you ever get that hungry feeling after school? Boy, I do. I'm so hungry, I could eat a wagon wheel. When I'm slow on the draw and I need something to chaw, I hanker for a hunk of cheese. When my 10-gallon hat's a feeling 5 gallons flat, I got something planned, which is little cheese sandwiches. Come on. Here's a great little snack to tide you over till dinner. If you want something delicious and nutritious, cheese is a super snack. Look, a wagon wheel. When my get up and go has got up and went, I hanker for a hunk of cheese.
All right, well, so that would not be a good look for you.
No.
Yeah.
But, yeah, thank you.
That's what you look like.
Thank you.
Somebody pointed you in that direction?
Yes.
You look like the hunk of cheese guy. Yeah. Okay, I've got to take a break here. If you want to get this last pair of tickets this week to see Bill at the Agora with Mary Santora and Marty Malloy. It's going to be Bill's new taping, new special, December 22 at the Agora. You can go to agoracleveland.com, want to buy them. You can win them after the break.
from the Universal Windows Direct Weather Center, WMMS Weather.
Overnight, partly cloudy with a little bit of fog toward morning, low 55. Tomorrow and Sunday, mostly sunny, high both days around 75.
This report is sponsored
Why is iHeartRadio the #1 streaming radio app? Free music.
Free live radio stations from all over the country. Free podcasts.
Free playlists.
Free contests. Free artist radio stations.
Commercial-free stations. It's free. I love iHeartRadio. Join the millions of music, radio, and podcast fans on the #1 streaming radio app now.
iHeartRadio.
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 Free never sounded so good.
It's time to give stuff away. It's time to give stuff away. 'Cause I love you, Alan. And it's time to give stuff away.
All right, Bill is taping his new hour. We're getting famous, right? We're getting famous. We're getting famous at the world famous Agora, and you want to be there. It's going to be December 22nd with special guest Mary Santora and Martin Malloy. Tickets are on sale at agoracleveland.com. You can get the last pair to win from me this week. Good luck. Caller 10, these are yours. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
Studies show that listening to classical music can temporarily raise your IQ.
I feel pretty smart.
If you're looking for the opposite effect, just stay tuned. The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS.
Next week on the show, tickets for to see John Oliver live. His show is back now. The writer's strike is over. John Oliver, Last Week Tonight is what it's called. That returns Sunday night over on Max, HBO Max. And he is playing in Akron. John Oliver Live is going to be at the Akron Civic Theater. I believe that's when it is. On the 11th of October. And I'll have tickets for to see Static X and Seven Dust. They're doing a co-headlining run after the first of the year. Mid-February, they'll be at the Agora. Those tickets are on sale as of today, I believe, or last week. Bullet for My Valentine at the Agora on October 18th, and Chelsea Handler at Playhouse Square on October the 20th. All of those shows up for grabs for you next week. Actor Ed Begley Jr. is going to join me on the show next week, as well as comedian Stavros Halkias. He is at Playhouse Square next Saturday night, and we'll catch up with him. Netflix is done as of this week. No more mailing out of DVDs. It's hard to believe they went as long as they did. But Netflix has sent out their very last DVD, and they basically told people, hey, if you have movies that we mailed to you and you never returned them, just keep them. We are not in the business of distributing DVDs anymore. They're all done. They have been doing it for a long, long time now. We all remember getting DVDs from Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Before it was streaming. Remember what a big deal streaming was in the Netflix age? When you were like, oh, yeah, I got these DVDs mailed to me. And then Netflix goes, we're going to have a service where all of these DVDs are just going to be on your television. We were like, what?
I was real early on it. I would stream movies on my computer all the time. And then I got a Roku in 2008 or 9, which, you know, Roku was a brand new startup at that time.
Yeah.
But they were only $50, and it's like, I'm going to get one of these and put it on all the TVs in the house.
Sure.
And then we don't have to have, because the kids were the worst with putting a new DVD in and then not putting it back in its case, so they're getting ruined all the time.
Yeah, they're just like sitting on the carpet.
Yeah.
All scratched up.
All scratched up. So I was like, I'm going to get these. It'll help us keep the house more organized. And it would change the world. It was the best.
I bet everybody has.
With that real crappy interface they originally had.
Yeah, that's right. But I bet everybody, or a lot of people, have, present company included, have a Netflix red envelope DVD somewhere. Something that didn't get mailed back. I feel like I've seen one at our... What's that?
I've always sent mine back.
I think I did too, but I feel
you
like...
don't get any more movies if you don't.
I feel like I've seen a Netflix envelope with a DVD in it, like somewhere in a box in our basement. At their peak, they were sending out about 1.5 million DVDs a week. and they had 50 people that worked in their distribution plant and just did that. 50. Now they have 6. There are 6 people left at there's a warehouse with no signs on it down the street from Disneyland. And these were the 6 people that were still working the Netflix DVDs. And it all ends today. They've shut their doors. No more envelopes being mailed out.
Took her jobs.
What?
It took their jobs.
Jobs.
The other night, I was hanging out with some friends, and one of them collects VHS tapes.
Yeah.
And someone found some and brought them to him, and it really got me nostalgic just seeing those and holding them. I was like, man, maybe I'll start collecting VHS tapes. Then I was like, no, because then you need watching a VHS
holder.
Well, yeah, they take up a ton of room, but also you can't watch it on a flat screen TV. That's like cheating. That's like, you need like an old tube TV.
How would you? I don't even know how that would look. A VCR attached to a flat screen TV.
Well, you'd still. What do you mean?
Because it's high definition.
But it's.
You'd still see the picture. It just wouldn't. It would just be whatever quality the VHS was.
Yeah, it'd be.
I don't think
like
I've ever
the
seen
sides would be black.
Yeah, your letterbox.
Mm-hmm.
Top and bottom and the sides. Netflix started mailing DVDs in 1998. The very first movie they ever shipped out was Beetlejuice. And Rolling Stone, I don't know if you read this, Rolling Stone just did a thing last week of the 50 worst decisions in movie history. They love lists over there. And one of them was when Blockbuster turned down the offer to buy Netflix. Because in its infancy, Netflix didn't know what they were going to do. And Reed Hastings was the guy at the top of Netflix. And Blockbuster was still a big deal. And so they said, hey, we've got this thing with DVDs. We're working some other new things. We'll sell the company to you. And Blockbuster was like, this is never going to go anywhere. People come to us for movies. And Netflix said, you can buy us for $50 million, which Blockbuster thought was way too much money. Of course, it would be worth billions now. And Blockbuster has their own streaming thing. The brick and mortar stores are gone. But they have a streaming thing. I don't know if anybody pays attention to it, but
yeah, I don't think so.
There's Redbox. I mean, people still get Redbox.
Redbox still gets used.
People still walk up
I
and get
know.
Redbox
I can't
DVDs.
believe those things are still around.
Well, because there's a lot of
they
people
come in handy sometimes.
There's a lot of people that don't pay for streaming.
Yeah.
They still have DVD players. Like when we talk about people who don't have smartphones, there's still people who are like, screw that. What do I need a smartphone for? A flip phone's fine.
And sometimes you'll be on vacation or something, and you'll be in an Airbnb, and they don't have streaming.
That's right.
So you end up watching Redbox.
There are more and more hotels, though, that are putting smart TVs in the room.
That can't happen fast enough.
Yeah, where you
because
can go.
I hate having to watch regular TV.
Where you can put in your own Netflix info, and it'll bring up everything that you watch.
We kind of make our pitch to them. I go, we think there is great synergy here. We could run your online business. You'd run the stores. This would be a great combination. But they finally said, so what do you think we should pay for you? And I remember when he goes like $50 million. I swear they were all kind of holding a laugh in because they found that so ridiculous. I remember sitting there going, oh God, now we're going to have to kick their ass. You know what the best part is? You know what the best part is.
Yeah, we kick their asses. That's an interesting documentary if you've never seen it. It's called Netflix versus the World. It's from a few years ago. And it's a lot of inside baseball, but it is interesting. But yeah, Blockbuster saying no thanks. And again, nobody knows what anything is going to be. But that Rolling Stone list of the 50 worst decisions in movie history is kind of interesting because it's just a list of what could have been, right? Like Will Smith turned down The Matrix and he turned down Django Unchained. He was offered those roles. And people always go, oh my God, it must drive you crazy. But they might have been completely different movies. Nobody might have cared about Will Smith in Django Unchained. Those were both really good movies.
I think people would have cared about that.
You think so?
I think The Matrix would have been weird with Will Smith because he plays things so comedic.
Yeah.
Whereas...
But he had the Men in Black back then, right?
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
That wasn't funny. So,
but what I'm saying is, like, he was at. I think that's why he turned it down, because it's kind of similar. Like, the costumes were kind of the same.
Men in Black predated The Matrix by like 2 years. Yeah, the first one.
So he's still
maybe
riding
you're right.
off that fame, probably.
and I get what you're saying though, because it wasn't. It was just kind of a sci-fi genre type thing, and also he was trying to make. He wasn't really doing a ton of R-rated movies then. I guess he was doing the Bad Boys and stuff. So I don't know. It would have just been weird with him.
iRobot he was in.
Terrible movie.
I love that movie.
Again, Will Smith did something to me because you get a glimpse of his butt in the shower, and when I tell you
That's all it took.
That's how I discovered that you could slow a frame down on a DVD player. Like, I was like, oh wait, what's this? Bink. I put it at like 0.1 or something like that.
Nice and slow to see butt cheek.
It was like the full peach. Like, he was just standing in the shower, just. So yeah, that did something.
Well, he was real skinny, or just kind of regular until he did Ali, and then he got jacked, and then he kind of kept that muscle on for several years.
What year was Ali? Because he was pretty ripped in iRobot.
Yeah, Ali I think was
20 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was 2002, 2001.
Yeah, he got pretty jacked for that.
Halloween scary movie season. If you want just the right mix of the devil and dirt bikes, you want to go with Race with the Devil, 1975, Peter Fonda. Just some guys and their ladies out on an RV trip doing some RV things along with dirt bikes, and then they happen to run into a murderous satanic cult. It's a classic.
Love Race with the Devil. That's a great grab.
That's given
mid-70s.
That reminds me of Maggie. What was the one?
With Schwarzenegger?
No. With
Mandy. With Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
I just rewatched that a couple of weeks ago. What a great movie.
The first time I watched it, I was kind of not into it, and then I rewatched it with an ex-girlfriend. Loved it.
Yeah. Big fan. Great soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Love the movie. But like 70s horror movies, because the 70s, I was still a kid then, and The Exorcist ruined me for 20 years. But a lot of great 70s horror movies, because it was a lot of folk horror. It was a lot of devil stuff. There was Salem's Lot. There was a Jodie Foster movie called The Little Girl Who Lives Down the Lane. A lot of great stuff in the 70s. But Race with the Devil is good. Because I like those horror movies that don't have a happy ending. And I think Race with the Devil was one of those movies. But because now it's like when they drop a horror movie, it's a ton of blood. It's a ton of, because it's a new, you kind of have to keep it ramped up for people who like that stuff.
Yeah.
So you have like Terrifier, and Saw 10 is out today, I think. There's a movie called Megalomaniac that I think is Swedish that's just bananas.
I still never seen any Saw movie.
Really?
No.
I've only seen, I've seen a couple of them. I saw the first one. Huh?
You seen Saw?
I saw Saw. See Saw. I've seen Saw.
You see Saw.
See Saw.
See Saw all the
Saw the
time.
first one because I think that's a modern classic. And I probably saw the second one, but I don't know that I've seen one since there. I didn't even watch that Chris Rock spinoff one. He did one called Spiral that they were trying to make a direct Saw sequel. And they were like, well, let's do something different. But I don't know if I didn't see that. Hey, Jeremy.
Mega dildos.
Mega dildos,
Hey, Bill.
Jeremy. What's going on?
Yo.
Thank you, sir. Hey, your show at the Agora in December, what's that, on the 22nd?
Yeah.
I've never been to the Agora. What's really to, like, am I going to get robbed on the way in there or something? I mean,
on the way in? No.
No, you're not going to get robbed. No,
it's right down Euclid.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
All right. It sounds like a good time. I mean, if you're anything like you are here on stage, I guess it'll be something. But I hear Mary's going to be there, so that should be interesting as well.
Mary and Martin Malloy, who was just voted, Bill. I don't know if you know this.
Best male comedian.
Best male comedian in Cleveland.
And he's
Scene
fantastic. It's going to be a great show. And I don't think you'll get robbed.
I mean, I go to a lot of shows at the Agora. I've never had any trouble there.
Me either.
Jeremy.
Been going there for 25 years. Never had a problem.
Cool. My mom died not that long ago, so I'm taking my dad.
At the Agora?
Yeah, right outside.
Oh, I was going to say.
I can see why you're so apprehensive now.
Yeah, he's got more info than we have.
But no, it should be a good time from what I hear. So yeah, I got my tickets and I'm ready to go.
Hey, man, I appreciate that so much. Come find me after the show. I'll have a poster for you, and I'll meet your dad, and maybe kiss him on the mouth. We'll see.
It's going to be a wild night,
You're
Jeremy.
more of a ring kisser. What time, is it a couple different shows that you're doing?
It's one show. It's one show. It's at 7 p.m. are the doors. Then the show starts at 8 p.m.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Jeremy. There's Jeremy plunking down his hard-earned money and taking his dad.
Makes me feel very appreciated.
There you go.
The ticket sales have been good so far. I mean, we still got months and months, and they're moving. So we like this.
Have you seen the flooding in New York City? Those massive storms that are coming
I saw
through
it on Twitter.
Yeah, there's like video of one of the airport terminals at LaGuardia flooding, and people are like running, trying to get out. It's wild. Well, I hope that their advertising campaign is come one, come all. Now that Durex is offering custom fit condoms.
What? How?
They've done a lot of studies and surveys and polls, and they say that a lot of guys, again, I don't know how this is a thing.
This just creeps me out because I think of the condom being like the shoe in Back to the Future where you put it on your D
and it goes,
you can't get it off.
It's like a Reebok pump.
I don't like this. Like, it just sticks there. It's like, I'm not done with you yet. Time to extract.
Well, they it's not an AI condom, I mean, but they always whip out this statistic that guys are buying the wrong size condoms. Except unless you're buying Magnums, condoms are all pretty much one size already.
And even Magnums actually aren't much bigger.
Right. It's more marketing than anything else.
Yeah.
So what those surveys tell me is that there's a lot of guys buying Magnums. They're not buying regular ones. But anyway, so Durex has said, well, we've got something that's going to fit everyone. And I think by that they mean, yeah, you dudes that are a little smaller, this is going to be for you.
So you got a friend.
So they call them regular fit, which is kind of insulting. I mean, users can select the thickness, so you can kind of customize these. You can tailor how much lube you want on them.
Nice.
You can also buy their new nude condoms, which are very, very thin. 65 micrometers for you science nerds.
There you go.
Yep.
I was whipping out my micrometer when I'm
Honey, I'm buying
measuring
rubbers.
this. Yeah.
Can you bring my micrometer?
Sure you know how to use a condom, rubber, a raincoat, a boner bucket, party hat, squirt skirt, love sock.
So I guess you get on Durex.com and you start building your perfect boner bucket. So, yeah, listen, everything now is customizable.
Mm-hmm.
People are getting used to it. There's nothing that they want to get. You don't want to be buying your condoms off the rack.
Do they make it for like guys that have weird shapes? Like if you have like
corkscrew,
like the real narrow at the top and then the fat base.
Like a traffic cone?
Yeah. Or they got like
the chicken bone.
Chicken bone. What's a chicken bone?
Or it's real wide at the tip and skinny in the middle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got the mushroom tip, yeah.
Or just straight up chode. Just
gross.
The old tuna can.
They all.
I don't mind a tuna can.
Tuna can.
You don't mind a tuna can.
They offer a close fit condom that has a 2-inch circumference and a wider one that goes all the way to 2.2 inches. So, yeah, break out your micrometer and you can decide how thick you want it. Extra thin, standard, or thick. That's like ordering a steak.
I just need condoms. Like it's
medium rare, please.
Like I've got
my condom use is medium rare, ladies.
Because I want it pink.
Yup.
I don't have any preference on condoms just because I get so many random ones. Like I get them from parties, I get them from clubs.
Well, maybe if you got a custom one, you'd really start to enjoy them.
Maybe you could have your face put on them and just hand them out. Right? If you can customize the condom, I don't know why they wouldn't let people customize the packaging.
It's just more expensive, and I don't need all that.
Yeah, but it's worth the money.
Most of the condoms I get, they're free.
Yeah, but those are the bad ones.
Those are the
Those are the ones that break all the time, or they just don't.
Those
not like lubed up
those
or
are
anything.
novelty condoms. Those are not, it's not top of the line. You should get over there
They
to
ain't for
Durex.
serious business.
That's right. So I can't believe it took them this long. Really got one over on the Trojan people. They said most guys are not suited for what is readily available. That's really a passive-aggressive way of saying that a lot of guys are too small for regular condoms, because it sure as hell ain't the guys are too big for regular condoms.
Right.
Because the magnums are already out there.
Listen, you don't know how tall 6 foot is. You definitely don't know how long 6 inches is.
So it's a brave new world. And, ladies, your boyfriend, your husband, you know that equipment as well as they do. And if you're still in, probably more for boyfriends than husbands, but, you can be out there customizing their Jimmy hats. There's luxury condoms. It's a wide array now. I read these articles about parents that are all pissed off because there are some grocery stores that will have pharmacy items up at the front. They've added them to the impulse items, and sometimes that includes condoms, which wouldn't be on any kid's radar unless their mom was pissing and moaning about it. You just do back in the early days, if you really didn't have a lot of money, it was really simple. You bought a pair of dish gloves, cut all the fingers off. You got 10 rubbers.
No one did that.
What? Pardon me, I did that, and they never broke. Now, I wasn't getting any, really, when I was in high school, so I had those for a long time. But listen, luxury items come in all shapes and sizes. When you become a certified personal trainer, Poundcake, these custom Poundcake rubbers, those are going to come in handy. That's going to be a great calling card, by the way. You just throw some, it's got your info on the back, your stats, whatever you want.
My stats.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm going to break here. Your Cleveland Guardians pregame is set to go shortly after 6. It's the first of 3, last series against the Tigers tonight in Detroit. We'll do the Bill Squire Friday Get Down to begin the weekend a little bit early. That is on the way.
Voted Best Taco by Cleveland Scene and Cleveland Magazine.
The Buzzard. The home of the Buzzard. Buzzard. This is 100.7 WMMS. Cleveland. Call the Alan Cox Show.
Is that what you want to do? Think about it, Alan. Once divorced and a broken man.
216-578-1007 or 1-800-348-1007.
Got the Bill Squire Friday Get Down here in a minute. Start a little bit early, the weekend. Guardians pregame set for shortly after 6. Last series of the season, first of 3 against the Tigers. They'll be live from Comerica Park. 6:40 is your first pitch. By the way, a lot of people texting me, and thank you so much, for all their condom hacks. And that's very, very helpful and useful, and I appreciate it. Alan, I buy mine in boot cut. Mike in Parma points out that you can customize your own condom with a can of Flex Seal. That seems...
Just make sure you put lube on both sides.
Yeah, both sides.
That's not coming off.
I wonder if they have large load condoms, someone says. Like the reservoir tip is the size of a shot glass.
That's when Poundcake saves up.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's a big load.
That's right. Alan, in high school, I had a buddy who used a Lay's bag as a condom.
No, he didn't.
I didn't believe him until years later I ran into the woman he did it with, and she confirmed it. I still wouldn't believe that.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe that.
That would be
either.
painful.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
They're sharp ends of a Lay's bag.
Well, he said it was like a murder scene when he was finished. Subsequently, that woman now is a lesbian. So,
but you can't have just one.
People, like at the spare of the moment, they think of a way to have a condom. Like I would think, maybe what's the stuff in the kitchen? Like not wax
Saran
paper.
wrap.
Saran wrap. Like I would see something like that. Never a Lay's bag.
No, if just have
Makes me think
condoms.
of booty call.
Well, I get being shy. Like if you're a teenager, 15, 16, you probably think you probably shouldn't be having sex, and so you're like, I'm not going to buy condoms.
No, but get this. Yeah, first of all, I never understood that because
There was a guy
you're showing the girl behind the counter that you get laid. Get the dude buying you beer to get a pack of Trojans. It's not that hard.
You just are. You are shy about that stuff.
I wasn't. I was dying to get laid. I would not have been shy at all. I never had a problem buying it. Maybe it's just how I was raised. We weren't raised to be worried about that stuff. If I would, I go to the store like as a teenager, buy my mom Always pads or whatever. She was out. Yeah, I don't care. Here you go.
Yeah, I remember I went to the gas
No one's going to think those are for me. Why would I be embarrassed?
Well, the condoms they could be for you.
Yeah, why would I be embarrassed by that?
Yeah, are you embarrassed of getting laid?
Right. I never understood the embarrassed of the condoms thing.
I don't know.
You'd be embarrassed every time you don't buy condoms.
You walk up and you proudly whip that box down on the conveyor belt.
I'm having sex and I'm having it responsibly.
And then,
as soon as I leave here, I'm having it.
And then once you get the condoms.
Condoms and toilet paper. Let's do this.
You get the little, you have the one condom in your wallet just in case. You never know what to be for. Boy, I had the outline of the condom that's had in my wallet for so long. It never got
sure. It's like a skull ring.
Then I finally took it off. It had like spikes on it from all the shriveled up
lube. Spikes. Extra ribbed.
Now that everything comes in flavors like Oreos. Are they going to start doing that with condoms? Because they have the flavored ones. But they're always like sweet. Are they gonna start doing spicy ones?
I got
get your sriracha condom.
I got
ghost pepper rubbers.
Yeah.
Do the Pocky one condom challenge.
The one tip challenge.
Yep.
In college, I got high and I had a bunch of flavored condoms, and I would taste test which ones were the best.
What was your favorite?
Strawberry rubber.
No, the blueberry one was the best. Everything else, the blueberry was the best. Everything else kind of tastes like condom.
Yeah, they all taste like
they're
all latex.
They're all going to have a condom aftertaste.
They're going to
that's for
finish.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's a rubber finish.
I feel like they had to do more work to put the blueberry flavor onto that condom. The strawberry, like, it tastes a little bit strawberry, but mostly like condom. The banana, that probably was like the most overpowering one, but because I don't like banana, I didn't like the flavor of the banana.
Well, for those of you who have been wondering about the state of flavored condoms, There's Poundcake.
I had that
Poundcake
bitch like a
with his
fruit
hot
roll up.
Oh, those kids always mess things up at that factory.
That's why you shouldn't have children working at the factory.
Yeah.
Or
they were in charge, too. They weren't just on the line.
Yeah, you shouldn't have the
They're
kids
scientists.
in the boardroom at the gummy bear factory either.
Yeah, right? All right, let's get this weekend started.
All right, it's Friday, and so it's time for the Bill Squire Friday Get Down in honor of the late, great Murray Saul. It is how we officially kick off the weekend here at the Buzzard. Take it away, William.
It's Friday, and you gotta get down on Friday. Get with your lady, get yourself a spicy condom, and treat her right. Do the one-tip challenge. Hot condom, hot condom, hot condom. It's Friday.
Oh, man. That was pretty solid. Hot condom.
Hot condom.
Yep.
Hot condom.
Well, kick up a little finder's fee to Bill Squire if you're out there working. If you're some latex scientist and you've just had a light bulb go off over your head, it's not just your idea. All right, we got to go. The Guardians pregame in minutes. What do you have coming up, William?
Agora, December 22nd. You can get tickets at agoracleveland.com or billsquire.com. I also got some other shows in the area. I'm going to be in Wadsworth. I'm going to be in Fairport Harbor, Geauga County, and in Chardon at the Geauga Theater. So all that stuff is up at billsquire.com. Get tickets to all of them. Thank you.
Poundcake.
I'm going to be in my skin, but you can also follow me at Radio Cody B, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.
All right, Bill and Poundcake are your hosts on Sunday morning for the Weekend Cox. It's 2 hours of the best stuff from the week. Tomorrow night, I will have 2 hours of nothing but metal for you. All different kinds. The show is 2 hours to midnight. We get going at 10 o'clock. The we is me, Corey Roddick, Pat Butler. We'll talk to you then for that, if you dig metal. And otherwise, the show is available for you on the iHeartRadio app. Thanks for listening. We will return to you on Monday, right around 2 o'clock. And that's it. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. And I will see you in hell.
And now I must leave you as the Brady Bunch is on, and I find 4 of those children incredibly arousing.